Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Wednesday morning, or no, Tuesday morning. Sorry, it's Tuesday morning, and the Raptors are going to play the second game against Orlando Magic in Orlando today, and we won the first one, so we're going for a sweep of the series. And if we win, we also win the season series against them 3-1. And as I said yesterday, I'd love to win this game because it's kind of like an interesting kind of marker from coming into bad stuff and getting out of bad stuff. 2 years ago, when Nick Nurse was still our coach, we went to Orlando and played 2 games in a row, and we had started very well that season, and everything fell apart. In fact, the team, everything fell apart. The team lost a connection with Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse lost a connection with the coaching staff. Everything just went to shit when we were in Orlando the last time for 2 games against Orlando in Orlando. It was disastrous. We lost humiliatingly in those games. And well, since then, Nick Nurse had to get fired, and we traded a whole bunch of players, our core, and we started the Scotty Barnes barbecue era with Darko Rajakovic. Now, this is a game where we win tonight. We have won, as I said, the season series against Orlando, and in some ways to me signifies like the other 2 games I talked about just now with Nick in Orlando, we're going down in the abyss and kind of going in the bad part of what we had to go through this last year or so. When the wedgie year last year with trading in the middle of the season, and the last year of confusion with Nick Nurse, and even the stuff that's happened this year on our rebuild and our climb back up to being a better team already right now. So I want to beat them today. I don't give a shit about ping pong balls. I don't give a shit about Cooper Flag. I don't give a shit about Tank Nation. I don't give a shit if Josh Lewenberg says pick a lane, Raptors, and this bullshit. I want to win today because we just proved that we can beat that team on Sunday. Let's duplicate it. Let's duplicate beating them today once again. And none of this loser talk anymore, Raptors Nation. Once again, we have that ace up our sleeve called Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, and it doesn't matter where we pick. We're going to get good player, and it's going to be fantastic. Some people saying, oh, but we're losing so much, we deserve a top pick. You know what? Nothing's guaranteed with the ping pong balls. Just let them fall where they may, and let's let our front office do their magic because they are very, very good, and they've proven that over the years. And we should just trust them. Just say, you know what? They know better than any of y'all. This team's going to finish where they're going to finish in the standings with how many wins they're going to finish with, and we go from there afterwards. It's like they're 2 different seasons, y'all. Why you don't want to jump into draft season before the season's even over? Is it just because of record? Oh, no. See, listen, you get better from the bottom. And in some ways, we're going to get better from playing right and winning some games with these young rookies in their core, getting the experience of winning. So let's have the seasons in the right order of ways. Regular season games, play the regular season. When you get to draft season, then we'll worry about where we are with the ping pong balls and drafting then. Y'all get ahead of things too quick in some ways. Some of the Raptors fans out there, not Raptors freaks. I know. All right, let's do the setup for the game. Latest lineup news, ref report, and also I'm reacting to a dismal 905 game yesterday that went down against the Mad Ants. We'll be talking about that today also. Classic card, Instagram stories, all kinds of big news, honestly, today. So the Raptors injury list has grown since the last game. Of course, Grady is added to it. He will not play today due to his knee, is what Blake Murphy is saying. His knee will be the reason why. It could be his tailbone. It could be his head. It could be his knee. You pick a choice. 3 different injuries to Grady in that one play on Sunday. And well, he's bruised his tailbone, guys. That's one thing we know. He's also hyperextended his knee, and he did get hit, but the concussion protocols have all been cleared. And in some ways, he didn't have a concussion, at least not right now. They'll probably test him again today, and hopefully he's still not showing any signs of a concussion. But either way, Grady's out. Grady is out today, and so is Oshai still. So both of our our Jayhawks are out. Both of our Jayhawks are out. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, they're both out. Abaji, of course, with the ankle twist the other day. Jamison Battle still out also with a nasal fracture. Garrett Temple still away due to the birth of his child. And Ulrich Shamshay, MCL tear, and Brandon Ingram still recovering from the ankle. So there's a lot of people hurt for the Raptors out right now. So what are we going to do? Well, did they add anybody in the last day or so? No. And I'm like, why don't y'all add somebody in your open roster spots? You know, Eugenio Moroy didn't play yesterday for 905. And I was thinking, well, did they call him up? Could we see Eugene get signed this afternoon and all of a sudden he's playing for the Raptors against the Magic today? I'd be all right with that. That'd be very good because we are missing some people. So with Grady out, I'm going to predict that Jacoby Walter will start in his place with Barbecue Yak, and it'll be very interesting. We'll have some barbecue Jacoby Yak tonight. So let's see how that goes with Barrett, Barnes, Quickly, Pirtle, and Jacoby Walter in the starting lineup. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jacoby, guys. His play has been exceptional lately, and in some ways, this is the kind of stuff that next man up. Well, in some ways, Jacoby's the next man up after Grady for getting possible starting duties, especially if Abaji's out. Abaji would have been maybe the starter if he was healthy right now, but I'm telling you, it's going to be Jacoby probably today. We probably see Jacoby. And on the other side, the Magic's injuries have not changed at all. Jalen Suggs is still out for the season. So is Mo Wagner. And that's it. They don't really have any injuries. So we should see the exact same team that we saw on Sunday with the same starters and everything. Cole Anthony, KCP, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. That's right. They are giving us this percentage chance to win today on ESPN on their matchup predictor. They're going to say that we have a 34.4% chance of winning, and the Magic are 65.6%. This is similar to what they gave us on Sunday, just so y'all know, as far as winning the game on Sunday. It's actually a little bit lower, honestly, but who knows? And maybe they're taking into account that Grady's going to be out. Who knows? Now let's do the refs, guys. The refs are very interesting today. They're very favorable for the Raptors, guys. This is one of the best ref crews we've had in like a month. So I'll tell you all about it right now. First of all, this crew is anti-Fred. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about now. Yeah, Fred's a little bitch, and then also Fred's anti-enemy, Ben Taylor. That's right. Ben Taylor's our crew chief today, number 46, out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, his 12th season. He likes to show The West Wing. He likes the movie Field of Dreams. He listens to Brian McKnight. He reads Mitch Rapp books. He likes ribeye steak. His favorite app is TripIt. He most like to visit Scotland. His bucket list to play golf at Augusta National, and his hidden talent is dancing. That's right. A Tennessee native, Ben Taylor received a bachelor's degree in public relations from Middle Tennessee State University. Taylor enjoys spending the offseason with his wife and son, playing golf and helping teach young referees. Ben Taylor may be a bad ref for Fred, but he's not a bad ref for the Raptors, guys. The Raptors, in some ways, he's one of the better senior refs in this league for the Raptors, guys. We win 60% of our games historically in the career of Ben Taylor. We lost the only game that he reffed this year so far, but the Magic only win 46% of their games with Ben Taylor. So 60-46 for the Raptors with crew chief Ben Taylor, who's anti-Fred, but he's not necessarily anti-Raptors. Let's just put it that way, guys, just so y'all know. The second ref is another really good ref for us. Actually, he's one of my favorite refs in the league, JT Orr, number 72 in his 14th season out of Pomona, California. He loves the show Three's Company. Come and knock on my door. Take a step that is new. Yeah, and he loves the movie Fletch. This man's all about the cool old school shit with Three's Company and Fletch, Chevy Chase. Yeah, he's a Lakers fan, though, Chevy Chase, Fletch, in that movie. His favorite musicians, Pearl Jam. So he probably has some things to talk about with Dennis Rodman, talking about old Eddie Vedder's old band from Seattle, the grunge band Pearl Jam. That's I feel alive, yeah. I don't sing Eddie Vedder very well at karaoke. He's not one that I always do. I never hardly do. Jeremy spoken glass today. Yeah, there you go. His favorite book is The Outsiders. It's not Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. It's the book, The Outsiders, like the one with Matt Dillon and all them. Favorite meal is biscuits and gravy. His favorite app is Maps. And he most like to visit Glacier National Park. Bucket list, start a dog rescue. And his hidden talent is impressionist painting. You know, I kind of would be interested to see JT Orr's painting work and see how good it is. It'd be fun. Maybe buy a piece and say, this is my JT Orr impressionist painting of a field or something like that. That'd be awesome, man. I bet his stuff is really good, honestly. I'd be very curious to buy an art piece made by JT Orr. Seriously, I like him. He's a really good ref, guys. He has such a good demeanor. And, you know, he's one of the refs he's the ref that Darko yelled at that one time. Like when Darko really freaked out and was like, he's really yelling and yelling. He was yelling at JT Orr, and JT Orr's just calm, cool, and collected. And somebody's just like, yeah, I'm a ref. I'm going to get a certain amount of this. But also Darko picked yelling at JT Orr partly because he knew he could get away with it because JT is such a cool guy. He's just a nice guy. JT Orr previously spent more than 10 years as a counselor for young men in the foster care and probation systems of LA County. So there you go. He's a humanitarian and somebody who's worked with young people to get their lives straight in the past. JT Orr is the worst ref today statistically for us, but he's great either way. We've won one and lost one this year, so we're 1-1 with him this season. We did win the last game he refed us. We win 58% of our games when JT Orr is present. And well, the Magic only win 46% of their games. So 58 to 46, the split for JT Orr. Very similar split to Ben Taylor. These are both very good refs for the Raptors as far as winning percentage, guys. This third ref is John Conley, the ref that Fred called a bitch. Yeah, he came up right at him, put in his face, said, "You're a bitch." That's what Fred said to him. Well, John is from Orlando, so he's going to be reffing in his hometown today. His fourth season, number 56. His favorite TV show is I Think You Should Leave. He likes Michael Jackson. His favorite book is Be the Pack Leader. His favorite meal is potatoes and pasta. He likes the movie Dumb and Dumber. He most like to visit Australia, and his bucket list is to skydive in Dubai. Yeah. John Conley earned a bachelor's degree in sport and exercise science and a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Central Florida. Conley has served on the executive board of the National Basketball Referees Association. Yeah, John Conley is the younger ref on the crew today, and he is not a bad ref. The splits are all very similar between all three refs with the Magic and the Raptors. We are 1-1 with him this year. We did win the last game he refed us, so we're 1-1. We have a 57% winning percentage when he's present in games in his career, and the Magic are 56. So it's a slight, or 55 actually. It's a slight split, 57-55 for the Raptors once again with third ref John Conley, Fred VanVleet's bitch. That's what he called him. I mean, I'm just saying it like it is. So we got some contentious refs for Fred VanVleet, but not necessarily for the Raptors. And JT Orr got yelled at by Darko that one time. So the ref report is really good, honestly. They all three favor us. And, it's Ben Taylor. We'll see what happens. It really is like he had a personal grudge with Fred because the stats and the way he was throwing texts at Fred for no reason for a couple of years there really showed like he had a personal problem with Fred for some reason. I don't know why Ben Taylor hated Fred so much. Well, that problem went to Houston, and it's not with us anymore. Just so y'all know, he has been a dick to him since he's been on the Rockets too, y'all, just so you know. It's crazy. All right, there's your ref report. All right, let's check in on the chat and see what's going on with everybody. See what's going on here. Trevor J saying his words of wisdom this morning. Thank you, Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J. You can't choose what you go through, but you can choose to grow through what you go through. Stop being okay with shit you're not really okay with. You're draining yourself. Wow, that's heavy stuff there. Trevor J, your words of wisdoms hit hard, and sometimes they're tough things to hear. No kidding. I think that this is true. Like, once again, you cannot control everything in the world, but the one thing that you can control in your life is what you do, what you say, and you can take power in your life and empower yourself by doing things that you know are within your power to change some things, and that is always very, very good. You don't want to feel helpless. You don't want to feel like you have no autonomy over your decisions in your life. In some ways, there's people out there that want to make rules and make a world where they make all the decisions for you, and it's not a free society. And that's why, in some ways, we need to rebel and be ready to fuck that shit up when that shit starts coming. No, we ain't trying to be no Nazi Germany over on this continent soon. So be ready. I'm just saying that right now. Be ready. Yeah, go through. I hope we go through good stuff, but whatever happens, we are all going to grow either way. That's what I'm going to say right there. Thank you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. Fantastic. Trevor's bringing up the big news from yesterday. This is huge. If we were in the offseason and I was not covering the Raptors right now, this would be the headline right here. This would be the Wow Wednesday for tomorrow. It's Serena Williams is one of the owners for the Toronto Tempo. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is monumental. This is the kind of stuff like Isaiah Thomas being involved in the Raptors at the beginning of our franchise. That seriously, Serena Williams is going to be involved in the advertising and a lot of the stuff in the campaigns for the Toronto Tempo. That is a huge, huge get. That is amazing. I'm so proud of Kilmer Group, Teresa Resch, Larry Tannenbaum for including Serena Williams and getting her on board with this opportunity. This is fantastic. She brings a bona fideness and a name and an attraction to the team that's going to be very, very fruitful thing. She could have gone and joined any WNBA team and done this, but she's chosen Toronto. The greatest, one of the greatest tennis players ever in the history of tennis is associated with the Toronto Tempo. This is a fantastic news. And Teresa Resch is very happy that she got to announce it instead of it getting leaked out. So fantastic. Teresa, huge, huge, so huge. I'm so proud of you guys. And I'm excited about the collaboration with Serena. She joins an ownership group that includes Aubrey and Kyle Lowry. Now, Aubrey. Yeah. Trevor's saying, happy game day. Let's beat the Magic against 8. That's what I want. That's what Darko wants. That's what Scotty wants. I don't know what everybody else wants, but that's what I want. That's what Trevor wants. That's what Darko wants. That's what Scotty wants. In some ways, the people that matter are Scotty and Darko, not Josh Lewenberg, not Tank Nation, not their bullshit. Let them play to win and let them win like they should and let them naturally be who they are. No throwing short and punches. No, we need to play all out and play the highest ability that we can, because that is what you practice in the NBA to get to the highest levels of winning. And when you kind of short yourself or try and short your effort, that's a bad habit to get into and do, Raptors fans. So stop proposing that, we need to lose and lose and lose and lose. These games that we're going to be playing are against bad teams, and we're going to win naturally. So let them just naturally do what they're going to do and stop getting upset whether they win or not. I told y'all you were going to do this shit by the end of the year. I called it when I saw the schedule, because I said the schedule's so front-loaded with hard stuff. We're going to lose a lot then, but at the end of the year, we're going to win a lot. And, well, Tank Nation needs to shut up about that shit, because we're going to do what we need to naturally do. And if our team naturally is going to be winning right now, well, that's what we naturally need to be doing. That's what I'm going to say right there. That's right. Trevor's saying the Blazers beat the Sixers last night. Fantastic. Yeah, some people are watching that and they're like, oh, no, the Sixers and this and that. I would tell you this. I don't give a shit about ping pong balls. I don't give a shit about Philadelphia protecting their pick. I give a shit about not being at the bottom of the Atlantic Division. Seriously. Some people say, no, Lex, we want to be the worst. Be right at the bottom. If we finish above the Sixers by the end of the year in the standings, I'll be like, that's fucking hilarious. Seriously, think about it. We started this season with who we are and what we do. And in some ways, not a lot of expectations for us, but think about all the expectations for the Sixers this year. And if we ended up beating them in the records and the standings, I'll take that. In some ways, look, you compete. Well, compete at every level you can. And if it's at the bottom and you could just barely beat the Sixers in the standings and even maybe the Nets, I'm for that. I am not with Tank Nation, and I'm not about collecting L's for the rest of the year. I am not, because in some ways I enjoy watching the Raptors win, whether we are a bad team and a bad record at the bottom. I just want to see them win and practice the win and get the win. That's it right there. Trevor Jays brought up that Jacoby Walter received a new chain yesterday, for the first ever recipient of a chain for outside the court activities. And it's really, the chain was given to him for being the MLSE Launchpad ambassador. That Jacoby Walter recently declared himself or became the new ambassador for MLSE Launchpad, which is a great, great community program for youth to come and do things after school and keep out of trouble and go get good mentoring and fun activities that are, worthwhile. And Jacoby is getting a brand new chain, which has a big maple leaf on it. It's very, very interesting. Is Darko in an open gym moment giving the chain to him for that achievement of being an ambassador for Launchpad. Fantastic stuff. I love to see Jacoby doing this. And yeah, Jacoby Walter, you're a rising star in the Raptors organization, man. I can see a future for you that is so, so bright. And what a well-spoken young man. In fact, we had him do one of the interviews for the game around the Orlando game. And he really is smart and mature. He is very good with his words on the mic and what he says. And he's amazing. I can't believe how much I like Jacoby Walter at this point. It's not that I didn't want to like him or anything. It's just he was such an enigma coming in, and I had no idea what to expect from him in some ways. And everything I've seen about him, I like. Seriously, this kid is a very mature young man for his age. Kaz is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to Trucker Kaz. I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday so far. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. That's right. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. Let's continue the grind and remove all the magic from Orlando tonight. I love it. She's making a little joke. All right, Fiercey, you want a joke? It's a mom joke. It's definitely a mom joke. It's just like dad jokes, except it's a mom joke. She's like, she wants to remove all the magic from there. That's pretty funny. So you're at 27 there. Seriously, I love you, MJ. I hope you're doing good today. Yeah, Kaz is saying doesn't matter where we pick. Atlanta got the first pick and made the play in. We will find someone great for our team. I know. I don't know why people equate success with a team for with the number one pick. It's such bullshit. There's a lot of teams that have gotten the number one pick and they haven't done jack shit afterwards or gotten anywhere with that number one pick. You know, that's the thing. You guys really want to be like the Sixers so bad that you want to tank and then get high draft picks that just sometimes don't go anywhere. Seriously, because that's the Sixers in some ways, right there. And in some ways, I agree with Cass completely. It's not going to matter where we pick. I'd like to be in the top 10, yes, but I'd like to be between 10 and 6, and not necessarily in top 5, guys. Not necessarily in top 5. Smooth saying tariffs take effect this Lex, devastating for Canada, U.S., and Mexico. Not since 1930, and it was followed by the Great Depression. Yeah, there's going to be tough times. Seriously, in some ways, you know, these tough times make you want to just kind of circle your wagons and yourself and be selfish and not look out for each other. But that is the exact opposite what we should do. We should go and reach out in community and make those bonds and those connections in safety and emergency, just in case whatever happens. Now, I'm going to say this right now. This whole tariff thing is going to completely backfire on the United States. And in some ways, it's going to strengthen Canada, honestly. In some ways, they're doing us a favor doing this. Don't let this scare you at all, Reggie. Seriously. Because in some ways, what you need to do is exactly what all of us have been doing already kind of in the last couple weeks. Start buying only Canadian. In fact, I'm going to research after I do the stream, what are the Canadian gas companies that I can more likely buy gas for my truck at that'll be Canadian gas from our country that is not from anywhere else and is from a Canadian gas company. So I'm supporting Canadian right there. At every level of where you purchase things, really analyze where you can make the Canadian alternative. And even if it's a little bit more expensive, this is well invested money that is going into our economy, staying here, and has nothing to do with the tariffs. So they want to mess with us? Well, we go buy Canadian and we buy it all throughout what we're doing. And in some ways, you know, tariffs are going to be what they're going to be. That's going to get passed along to the U.S. And you're right. The Great Depression, which happened almost 100 years ago, could be making a rerun all of a sudden around the world because of the very reckless, irresponsible decisions that the new Trump administration has been making in all kinds of weird cuts and ways that they're doing it. People are unnecessarily going to die. People are unnecessarily going to lose their house. People are unnecessarily have more health problems. People are unnecessarily, there's going to be all kinds of unnecessary shit that didn't have to happen. It's just they wanted to let fuckface Elon be a little auditor guy like he did with Twitter. And he's going to run roughshod through the whole freaking government of the United States. And honestly, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And it's really scary how things are moving towards authoritarianism. Like he said this morning, he's going to remove all funding for colleges that allow student protests against him. It's crazy. That's not democracy. That is not freedom of speech. And that is not a real whatever America is supposed to be. Seriously. What's going on right now is very much like Russia, North America right now. This man looks up to Putin. He's doing everything that Putin wants him to do. He's basically an agent for Russia, and the United States is run by Russia at this point. And it's fucking disgusting and sad, considering all the rhetoric I grew up with in the Cold War in the early 80s with Reagan and Gorbachev and all that stuff. We get to this point where Russia's won the war, guys. They've compromised the United States democracy. And the Americans, some of them are too dumb to even realize that's what's happening right now. It's sad. It's very, very sad. It's, you know, they're going to, anyway, I don't want to go on this too long. But yeah, Reggie, I would say this, just do what you can. Once again, getting back to the words of wisdom of Trevor J, let's do what we can in this situation, control what you can control, and that's your dollar and where you spend it. And very much support, first of all, Canadian, but second, locally. If you can support small business and local, and even if it's a little bit more of a premium, trust me, that's a good investment because you're putting it in your neighborhood, in your area of the woods, and it's not going somewhere to a big corporation or going to the States. And that's what we have to start thinking about. How do we spend our money and be more smart about it? And the funny thing is, we've spent so much money on American companies for so long without thinking about it. When we think about this and we make this change to our behavior, that's who gets hurt. Because we could switch brands. You may have brand loyalty to an American company, but you switch to the Canadian company and you may never go back. And that's the thing they're going to find out with this. This is completely going to backfire. It's going to it's going to make the Canadian economy stronger, honestly, because so many people are already doing this. And they're going to start listing everything everywhere. This is Canadian origin. This is Canadian origin, and that's what people are going to buy. And everything else is going to sit on the shelves and not get nowhere. That's what I'm saying right there. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, Reggie, we're all in this together. Let's stay together and let's do what our part to help with this, because we can. We seriously can. Let's see. Fiercely saying Kyrie Irving, non-contact injury. They carried him to the free throw line as he had to shoot, made both, and left the game. Wishing him well. That's crazy. That's crazy. So they actually let him. He had to shoot the shots even though he's hurt, and they carried him to the line. He shot him, and then he left the game. That's crazy. That's crazy. Usually they let somebody surrogate jump in there, a pinch free throw shooter in these kind of situations. Kind of weird that they made him go over and do it himself. Well, maybe it was Kyrie's pride. Either way, Kyrie Irving is a good man, and I have more and more respect for him as time goes on. In some ways, he stands on the side of not the most popular stuff, but in some of the stuff he's been right on, honestly, especially Palestine. Especially Palestine. Somebody's saying the PM will be speaking this morning discussing Canada's response. Yeah. I mean, we're going to do what we're going to do. And in some ways, you know what? In some ways, we just got to be strong as a nation and stay together. This is a really good way to reunite the left and the right in Canada, because we all should be on the same page about this. And if we aren't, if there are right wingers in Canada that are all about becoming some part of the United States, y'all are traitors. And honestly, we need to figure out who you are and not give you any kind of power around here. I'm very, very shaky on trusting the PC government still, because honestly, they're the closest thing to MAGA up here, and they're the closest thing to sell us out. And they may not actually have the best interests of our country and our sovereignty at their heart, the core of their heart. They may talk real big and stuff like that. Doug Ford's talking about how he wants to cut the electricity off on the states, and he'll smile real big about that. That worries me, because in some ways, Doug Ford can't be complicit with some sort of master plan to do something really crazy to Canada. He antagonizes the United States. They may make some sort of weird ass fucking reasoning for why they want to do something really messed up to Canada. So in some ways, Doug Ford can play cowboy and try and be a badass and try and say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'll smile when I do it. Don't fuck around like that, Doug. Seriously. I don't mind you cutting off their power, but don't try and make it theatrics and all kinds of shit, because you're dealing with a fucking orange man that loves wrestling and talks to Vince McMahon, and all they want is a reason. Just like they did that manufactured bullshit last Friday with Zelensky. They're not fucking normal, weird. They're weird, fucking crazy ass people that are fucking degenerates and evil as fuck. And in some ways, we need to be smart about how we respond to them and how we treat this whole situation, Doug Ford. This isn't the time for you to try and be John Wayne and your bullshit, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Let's keep going. Fiercely saying, okay, that was her correction to what she said before. James is saying tariffs are bad for American businesses depending on Canadian products. Yeah, there's all kinds of stupid things about this. We are going to hold off on sending them nickel, is what Doug's saying. And there's other stuff. We've already cut off all the liquor that we were importing that was going to be at LCBO. It's really a dumb move, because in some ways they're going to find out just how much the trade with Canada was really kind of helpful to businesses and all kinds of things down there. And in some ways, yeah, it'll hurt us in some ways too. It's going to hurt everybody. But in some ways, we can lessen it here. Seriously, we can lessen it. Stargate saying India. Yeah, India is in some ways going to be a powerful country in the aftermath of all this. In some ways, this world needs a new global power, honestly. The United States has fucked itself up and corrupted itself. And in some ways, we need a more just, noble democracy kind of power in charge, because they don't even stand for democracy anymore. The United States is not a democracy at this point. It's a theocracy led by oligarchy dictatorship. And it's fucking sad, honestly, because we came all the way to this from George Washington and the Revolutionary War to get to this fucking point, and the maturation of America as a democracy. That's sad. That's just over 200 years. And this fucking thing fouled up and spoiled because money ruined it, honestly. It bought the country. Elon Musk bought the country, and now he's just running it into the ground, just like he did Twitter. Is basically the same thing. Cream saying, when Trevor J throws in a cuss word in the words of wisdom, it touches my soul. All right, that's funny. That made Kareem made me laugh on that one because honestly, that's funny. It's a little extra when you throws a cuss word in the words of wisdom. There you go, Kareem, 51. Carlo is here. Good to see Carlo. Canada needs to hold strong. There will be a boiling point in the U.S. with all the incompetence by the Orange Man. We will endure that until that happens and help our American bros and sisters pick up the pieces. Exactly. That's the crazy thing. You know, they may do some fucked up shit to us because of their leadership, but we love the Americans. We love America. We love our brother country down south, but we don't like their leadership. We don't like the direction they're going. And a lot of the people are the same way down there. So we're with you. And that's the crazy thing. We're solid with that. And in some ways, this is exactly right what Chloe's saying. He's going to fuck things up so bad. And sadly, people are going to have to suffer. People are going to have to suffer with their pocketbooks. They're going to have to suffer with the untimely death of loved ones that they cared about. They're going to suffer because they're going to lose careers that they've done their whole entire life. They've already been losing them right now. And for every single person that suffers at the hands of the decision of Elon and Donald recently, there's going to be a counteraction. There's going to be people that are radicalized against them that are going to do more and more stuff like protests and do things to fight against them. And at some point, you know, there may have to be a revolution because he's ensconced himself with the branches of government completely being yes men to him. So there's no true way politically in a lawful way with whatever, because they're changing laws and they're not just laws they're changing right now. There's not going to be any kind of peaceful way to change this. I'm going to tell you that right now because the system is corrupted and broken at this point. You can't elect people that are going to come in an election cycle years from the road and fix this shit. No, the money's compromised things. It's completely compromised things. So in some ways, the Americans need to understand right now, you have a coup. Go on your hands, and y'all need to maybe have a coup of the people up against that government ASAP. In some ways, like what Kaloy just said, you guys go through it. We will try and support y'all, the freedom fighters, against this bullshit from the Trump administration. And when the things finish, we will be there to help you. We will be, because that's who we've always been for you guys down south, up here in Canada. What happened at 9/11? That's right. They sent those planes to the Maritimes, and we helped you guys out. What happened when you guys go to wars? Canada fights next to you as soldiers. And you know what? We understand the American people are being held hostage by a fucked up, corrupted, oligarchy, bullshit fucking administration of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And in some ways, we understand y'all are victims right now, just like the rest of the world. And we are not against you guys. We are for you guys, the people of the United States, under that tyrannical bullshit right now. And Kaloy is exactly right. We will help them pick up the pieces at some point. That's right. We have to stand strong, and we have to protect our sovereignty. And we have to protect Canada being Canada for sure. Thank you, Mike Myers, for what you did. Elbows up, my friend. That's right. Indeed. Elbows up. That's right. Trevor's saying, I hate seeing all the bullshit about RJ. All right. Trevor's brought up something that has been a shitstorm on social media, apparently. I haven't seen it because I don't go to these places and see this shit. But Trevor's saying there's been a real ramp up in the last couple of days of bullshit about RJ leaving the Raptors for whatever reason. You know, I know why this is. I've said this on the stream a couple of days now. RJ's excelling in Toronto. He's playing better here than he did in New York, and people don't like that. They like to pull things apart. Now, I want to tell every average Raptors fan out there, this is what you need to understand. Trade rumors are not in season right now. It's the stupidest thing. If there's any kind of trade rumors right now, disregard them completely. The trade deadline was what? A couple weeks ago. So what the fuck are any trade rumors going on right now? Because there ain't no fucking trades going to happen until July. So it's so stupid. We're off season from trade rumors. Trade rumors shouldn't be happening because they're not plausible or correct right now because there's no time to trade. You can't trade right now. So anybody saying anything about trading, they're shopping RJ around. That's absolute horse crap because you can't trade him right now. Why the fuck would they be talking about shopping RJ around if he can't be traded? Because the trade deadline's over and you can't trade until July. So there's certain periods of the year where no trade talk should be happening. And we're in one of those right now. And I would tell every Raptors fan, don't believe this bullshit. First of all, if you're going to believe any rumors, trade rumors about the Raptors, they have to come from up here. First of all, the best place to hear it is from Bobby or Masai. Listen to them. They'll tell you exactly what they're doing half the time. And then the next people you need to listen to are the media here in Toronto, not in the United States. None of these U.S. jackasses who don't really pay attention to us, honestly. They're going to come and tell us what we're doing and what our rumors are? No, fuck them. Especially a Celtics beat writer that made all this bullshit about RJ that's going on right now. Seriously, you want to, if you're really into trade rumors, the people you need to listen to, if you want to know the real trade rumors about the Raptors, are Michael Grange, Doug Smith, Josh Lewenberg, Samson Folk, Blake Murphy, Karthika, all the people that actually work in our media here that are near the team enough to actually pick up any kind of trade rumors. You believe them first before you believe any jackass down south, from anybody like any of those fuck faces, the people who are talking about Pascal, OG, Jakob in the last couple of years. They've been wrong and proven wrong every single time on a lot of their bullshit. Jake Fisher and their bullshit. So I'm going to say this. First of all, analyze, is this trade season? Do trade rumors actually mean anything right now? Because there's actually no, ability to trade. Why the fuck would people think that Bobby and Messiah are shooting off their shot about what they want to do with trades right now? There's never been loose lips. They never let any secrets out about what they do. And that's part of why they're so good at it. So why the fuck would they leak out that, oh, we're shopping RJ right now when there ain't no ability to trade RJ right now? Let's have some critical thinking, Raptors Nation, and understand this is absolute horse crap manufactured by a Celtics beat writer. All this RJ bullshit that's going on right now. So yeah, this is the age of you need critical thinking because there's a lot of bullshit out there and it's inundated. In fact, I'm going to leave social media because there's so much stupid ass bullshit out there. There's absolutely false information, misinformation, disinformation, and malicious information given to you because they want you to believe something they want you to believe. So that's all I'm going to say about that right there. Yeah, I hate seeing it all, but I'm not seeing it because I don't go to those places, Trevor. I appreciate you going there and checking the water and seeing what those dumbasses are saying. But everybody who's worried about any RJ rumors and stuff like that, I hope you just listen to me and you can understand exactly what I just said. Because that's all it is critical thinking. There ain't no trades going on right now. So why the fuck are there trade rumors about RJ? This is what I'm going to say right now. There you go. There you go. Fiercely saying, interesting. Serena will probably cross paths with her ex Aubrey as they co-own the Tempo. I didn't know they're exes, but business first. I'm very excited for what the future holds. Notable people investing in the team is good. This is huge, Fiercy. This is huge. She's one of the greatest female athletes in the history of sport ever. She is a name. She is global. She is worldwide. She bona fides this team immediately, showing up yesterday. And it's a huge get. And I'm so proud of Teresa. And you know what? She's going to be involved kind of like Drake. Seriously, they're saying that she's going to be involved in merchandise design and kind of the whole motif of the Tempo. She's going to have her input on what she feels like is a good style for it. That's part of the package for her to be joining us, is she wanted that kind of duty. And that's fantastic. Drake did help our style. I'm not going to lie. I have problems with Drake now because of his issues with DeMar, but the dude did help our team look better. The dude did bring bona fide realness to our team and respect. In some ways, I know the contributions of Drake to the Raptors, how they did help us, especially in the early 2010s, but, not so much recently. But I'm just saying, Serena Williams could be that kind of person for the Tempo. Really give them a lot of clout and a lot of very cool style to them, because in some ways, it's like, that sounds cool when you say this is a Serena Williams designed Tempo jersey. Seriously, think about that. It's amazing. Yeah, I hope they stay apart. I'm sure that they've figured things out or whatever. It's like Serena could laugh at him. He's a joke compared to her, is what I say. Yeah, Kareem's saying it fiercely. I don't think Drake has any involvement with the Temple. And that's not true, actually, Kareem. He is in the ownership group. He was declared in the ownership group when they announced it. So, yeah, Drake is one of the part owners of the Tempo, along with Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is one of the part owners also. So, yeah, Randolph saying, game day blessings. Beloved Raptor freaks, an informative gang. Weaknesses always invite aggression. Even in your weakest moment, fight with all your might. This will frustrate your opposition. Wow. You're saying if you're weak, you're inviting aggression? Oh, man, this is not the mentality we need in this world, where cruelty and humanitarianism is getting past each other in the door. Cruelty's coming out and humanitarianism going out the window. No, we need to protect the weak, the tired, the poor, the sick, the old, the everybody who's subjugated. In some ways, we need to really buckle down on our values of unity and equality and inclusion, and the safety net of looking out for each other. That's the thing. A country is only as great as how it treats its members that are the most vulnerable and weakest. And I'm telling you right now, that's going to show exactly just how awful and horrible the United States is at this point, because they're going to treat the weakest and poorest and sickest absolutely unchristlike and in a really, really evil, bad way. And that's a sad thing right there, man. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Randall Phillips. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. There you go. Stargate saying, yes, it's going to backfire, Lex. Watch. Anyways, back to basketball. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know you guys, this is a topic of the day, but in some ways, yeah, I know I do a little politics detour here and there, but I do kind of like, yeah, in some ways I do want to ignore all this shit. But this is an important channel for communication and disseminating information, and in a way too also. So I'm okay with talking about it. It is a topic that people are thinking about today for sure. So I just say exactly what I'm saying. Let's mess them up by buying Canadian, and they'll decide, they'll figure out, these companies are always scared. The American companies are always like, fuck, they're gonna fuck us up. And some of these companies are gonna go out of business because of Trump doing this. Seriously. Because there's a certain percentage of their sales that's up here that may go right out the window. And everything's so razor thin with margins and business and staying afloat right now that this could really fuck some people up. Seriously. And well, Target's getting fucked up right now for some of their policies right now. You've seen the stock for Target, and it's just plummeted. Yeah. Fiercely saying, since there's no potential negative talk about BI as he signed, toxic fans or media are redirecting towards RJ. Yeah. Yeah. Classic. Also saw a take about IQ's low return on contract. Only read 2 sentences. Yeah, you know what? If it's negative and it's all that kind of stuff, you know what? Don't tell me what you think and what you see. Let me watch the game and I'll see it for myself. Is kind of how you insult my intelligence, beat writers and different people, content makers, fuck faces that just write bullshit on the online. You insult my intelligence when you tell me you see something out there that's different than what I'm actually seeing with my own eyes when I watch the game. And Emmanuel Quickly has been hurt most of the time he's been a Raptor, and it's not totally fair to judge him, honestly, completely right now. Yeah, we're gonna see him get ramped up. And you're exactly right, MJ. The fact that BI did his extension already and they took that off the table, it's just like the Pirtle extension gaslighting a couple of years ago. We get Pirtle in that trade, and they're trying to make it seem like, oh, he might not stay with Toronto and sign in the summer. Is absolute horseshit. And once again, they just want us to feel uneasy. They want us to feel stressed. They don't want us to feel happy because we have good things going here in Toronto. They want Raptors fans to feel like befuddled or worried and all that kind of bullshit. Fuck that shit. I'm confident and smart and understanding exactly what's going on with the Raptors, and I'm really happy. And I'm in cloud nine. And all you Raptors fans are all consternation and worry. You should watch me more seriously and see why Lex is so not worried and not listening to the hate and the bullshit that Fiercey's talking about right here. That's right. Yeah, Trevor's saying it was a knee injury. Need a knee injury? What, talking about Grady? Or are you talking about Kyrie? I don't know, Trevor. You talking about Grady or Kyrie? Fiercey's saying, thanks for the dunk on my mom joke. Yeah, good job. Good job. You got me to laugh on that one. Monique's here. The super fan Monique Lawrence, the greatest, is in the house. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew, and happy game day. Let's not make the game close like the last one. Dear 905, you are a big disappointment. I don't want to say it like that, but man, yeah, I know it sucks. I shared this stat on the chat yesterday, and Mo's like crazy. We were 11-4 as a G League team at one point, and now we're 12-12. That's fucked up, isn't it? We're 12-12 as of yesterday. The Raptors 905 lost the Mad Ants. It was a sad, pathetic game. Of course, they didn't have hardly anybody. Eugenio Maroy did not play. And of course, all these other guys are away from the team. So they had to start Quincy Guerriere, Frank Kaminsky, Jared Roden, Tyreek Key, and Evan Gilliard. And they only had Tyler Perry, Kenny Chandler, and Charlie Brown off the bench. The Mad Ants didn't have that many players either. But the Mad Ants did have 3 players that play on the Pacers on their team yesterday. Jerace Walker, Ray J. Dennis, and Johnny Furpey, all players that play for the Pacers and play in the NBA. And meanwhile, we're playing the bottom of the barrel of our roster. We're playing Tyler Perry getting 28 minutes. That tells you all you need to know. Right there. Tyler Perry had to play 28 minutes just to take minutes up for the 905. That's a big part of it right there. There's nobody available. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel with the 905. My star of the game for the 905 and the losing effort is off the bench, Charlie Brown Jr. He got 26 points in 32 minutes on 8 of 16 shooting, 6 of 11 from 3. He's got that goofy pirate shot. It's like he's shooting a parrot off his shoulder. He shoots from the side of his shoulder. It's so weird. the way he shoots, but it's effective. 6 for 11, 2 for 3 from free throw, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers, a plus 13 for Charlie Brown, 26 points in 32 minutes. Yeah, Charlie, man, you're awesome, dude. You have come full circle with me. I'm okay with you now. That's an all-around great game. You shot a really good percentage. You got some assists. You got a filled out stat line, and you were the best player for the Raptors 905 yesterday. Good job, Charlie Brown. In some ways, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm not proud of Kenny Chandler. He stayed exactly who he's been the whole season. But Charlie Brown's had an odyssey as a player. He's grown up a lot more. And in some ways, I really appreciate how you've changed your game over the last year, this season, Charlie Brown Jr. That's right. My second star of the game and the loss for the 905 last night is Frank Kaminsky. Frank wasn't that great, but in some ways, they were all pretty bad. So Frank, in 35 minutes, got 13 points on 6 of 12 shooting. He missed all 3 of his threes. He hit his free throw, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, a minus 19. Yeah, he took a really bad hit to the face. Really, really bad. Nailed him right in the face. There's some Jerace Walker hit him with a forearm shiver right to the nose, and he went down. Ooh, it hurt, man. It hurt. My third star of the game is Jared Rhoden. Jared Rhoden is the other player that got 20 points for them. He got one of the players that got 20 points. 24 points for him on 10 of 23 shooting in 39 minutes, 2 of 8 from 3. 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 4 turnovers, a minus 24. Jared Rhoden, the best player on the 905 right now, because he's been up with the big club and he's just been the most solid guy recently. But yeah, it's tough, man. When you don't have Shamshay, you don't have any of the other rookies at all. Even Jamison Battle might be playing for them right now. Broken nose. Eugenio Maroy not able to play yesterday. They're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. And like I said, the other side, looking at the other side, you got Enrique Freeman, who's been a player that's been on. Actually, they had 4 guys that were both leagues, 2 ways: Furpy, Walker, Freeman, and Ray J. Dennis. So they had some of their best young players for the Pacers on the team that would be playing with the Pacers also. Also, Jahlil Okafor came off the bench for them. So they had a luxury of a lot of talent on that Mad Ants team that beat us yesterday. But sadly, now we're 12-12, and we fell out of the playoffs as of yesterday in the G League for the 905. I hate that so much. I wish it wasn't like that. Going over the other guys that played in the 905 game, Quincy Guerriere, 1 of 8 from the field. Horrible. 4 points in 32 minutes. He missed all 4 of his threes. 7 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, a minus 14. He was 1 for 3 at the free throw line, too. Tyreek Key started and only got 2 points. I don't know what the hell is going on with Tyreek Key. He started so good at the beginning of the year, and then he didn't get to play at all, and now he's getting to play like crazy, and he's just ineffective. 1 of 3 from the field, missed his only 3-point attempt, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, a minus 15, 2 points, running cardio out there. Evan Gilliard, the starting point guard last night, 22 points for him in 37 minutes, 6 of 19, 2 of 7 from 3, 6 of 6 at the free throw line. That's good. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 6 turnovers, though, a plus 3. He's my honorable mention. He could have been the 4th star. And then Tyler Perry, 3 for 7, all 3-point attempts, 13 points for him. He was a plus 12. This is his best game that Tyler Perry's had this year. 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block. And then Kennedy Chandler, 3 for 8, missed both of his 3-pointers, 2 for 3 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 8 points, and minus 6 in 19 minutes. Yeah, just not enough players, and the players not very good, and you're just not going to match up talent-wise, and you're going to get blown out. You can get beat down. They were down by like 20 a lot of the game. They did make up 10 of the points in the 4th quarter and got outscored the Mad Ants 36-26 to make it only a 10-point loss. But for most of the game, the 905 were losing by 20. They really were. It was tough, man. It was a tough game to watch in some ways. Yeah, Fiercely saying at Kareem, hang on, jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get this one. At Kareem, I thought he was part of the ownership with Kyle. He is part of it. Kareem missed that. When they had the ownership announcement, Drake was there with Kyle, and they said that they're part owners. But if he isn't, all good, as it may not be good look considering the allegations, optically bad as Tempo is a women's team. No, I agree with this. I thought that when they announced that he was involved, I was like, is really Drake one of the right people to be an owner of the Tempo? Seriously? Like, seriously, Teresa. In some ways, the optics of it is exactly what MJ's saying. It's not necessarily a good look. Yeah, I agree with this. But yeah, he's technically a very small minority owner. It's not like he's a huge owner of the team. It's like they got a part ownership. Him and Kyle, they're together in that. Logical saying the Triple J combo is interesting as a bench mob group. Shed is showing real improvement. Yeah. Yeah, Shed is up and down recently, but he had a really up game in the last one, but a really down game in the one before. But, those are the kind of shifts that are going to happen with the young player, especially rookie at a point guard, but I think Shed's headiness, all the rookies have been really good, like maturity wise and professional wise. It's just there's a learning curve and there's going to be mistakes that you're going to have to make. And there's going to be stuff where we lose because of it. It's just how it is. James is saying Canada should just piece it out and come to a solution. You really can't beat them if it goes next level. Well, that's the thing. Diplomacy is going to be very important here. And in some ways, God forbid, or perish the thought, what you're talking about. The things that we've got to think about are that there's a lot of people like me on both sides of the border. There's a lot of people that are Canadian that are in the United States. And there's a lot of Americans that are up here. And these are people that are like me, that value and respect both countries being separate and being who they are. And, there's a lot of people that like, this is not natural, or a lot of people that like in their guts are going to feel this is not right. This is wrong. So hopefully people will not just fall into like a Nazi party of the United States and just follow blindly the leadership of these dictators. Some people have to have thoughts and feelings and hearts for themselves and understand what's right and wrong, and cooler heads should prevail in those kind of ways. I don't know. In some ways, there's different things we got to think about, James, and be ready for just in case. But I would say this, the thing about Trump is he's very much like Putin, and whatever Putin does over in his area of the world, we should expect him to do here. And that's fucked up and scary if you think about it, seriously. So, yeah, in some ways, James is right. In some ways, diplomacy is going to have to be really important. And in some ways, Canada's going to need some new friends if the United States is choosing not to be their friend anymore. And those new friends are friends we already have that may need to come and be helpful for us here in certain ways. And I wouldn't be surprised if that new friend may be China. And that China may be coming to help us in this situation. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. In some ways, Chinese relations with Canada have gone up and down in recent years, but in some ways, they're very strong also, with a very, very high population of Chinese Canadian citizens here. So we'll just have to see, James. Either way, we don't wish or want any of this. Perish the thought. And let's just hope that people can be adults and work things out in civil ways. That's what I would say. Stargate saying one of my comments was deleted just before when I said India, shaking my head. This opens up avenues for China and India. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're doing a better job in general in certain ways over there anyway. Capitalism has stifled innovation and research and being the top in science and innovation and inventing things. And they're doing way better jobs in those countries that you just named as far as coming up with new technologies and implementing it. China now has more solar power than the whole entire rest of the world. They're getting it, and they understand the changes that need to be made. They've had very severe problems with pollution in their country, and they've changed it. They've really bought into the Paris Agreement and trying to get right with carbon emissions. They understand climate change is real, and they're doing more to fix it. Meanwhile, we've got idiot Trump. He's rolling back things. He's anti-climate, he's climate denial guy, and he's taken every program for green energy and throwing it out the window. And he's in fact endorsing having more awful, disgusting, environmentally bad energy being built. So it's a scary thing because in some ways they're going really backwards, really backwards. Meanwhile, those two countries are going forwards, and they have better things going on in their countries. They don't tell us here because they don't like them saying that. The American media will not tell you the truth about China and India exactly. They really don't. They want you to just believe they're backwards countries that are full of poor people and just tons of people. Well, that's not true. That is not true. Stargate, let's see. James is saying, don't depend on American too much going forward. Do more trade with Europe and China. Diversify. Yeah. When I go to the grocery store, I'm not just buying Canadian products. I'm buying products from Australia, products from Europe, products from Japan, products from South America, Mexico. There are products that we can get for everything, and we can just avoid the American ones. And it's the trade with the other countries and things like that. Hey, that's what James is exactly right. Kareem saying, I hope Doug Ford does the Steph Curry celebrations in New York, Michigan, and Minnesota. Lights out. Now, that'll be really weird. Now, this is what I'm saying. In some ways, Doug Ford talking tough and all this kind of stuff is not necessarily a smart thing. It's not that we need to kiss their ass and do whatever. In some ways, we need to be like Zelensky and stand strong and proud, but don't provoke also. In some ways, that's the thing. In some ways, these idiots down there are in some ways want to look for a reason. If they don't get a reason, they may manufacture one, just like Putin did to go into Ukraine. So in some ways, that's the thing. You got to understand, you're dealing with people that aren't rational or right, and they have end goals already in mind, and they may drive the car towards those end goals, even if we do everything right. So we need to be ready no matter what. Seriously, we could do everything right. And, I say, you cut their power off. That could be a reason for them to do something stupid, is what I'm saying. And I don't want Doug Ford to play high noon like he's some sort of fucking cowboy. In some ways, look, if it's justified and it makes sense strategically to do it, then do it. But in some ways, you don't want to bow up to these guys like this. It's not smart, seriously, because you got a madman and a fucking idiot in charge of a very powerful military. And that's that's scary. That's scary. And that's why they got rid of all the people that don't say that say no to Trump that in his first administration. Well, that's what he learned from his first administration. The roadblocks that he ran into with the Congress and different judges and the military leaders. Well, he cleaned them all out like he tried to. He's cleaned out a lot of them that anybody will stand up to him in the system. And that's the scary thing. So it gets to a point where American soldiers, they got to search their soul. Do I serve the U.S. Constitution or do I serve MAGA and their bullshit, fucking Nazi bullshit? And some people are going to have to search their souls personally. And some of them will go with the Empire and become fucking stormtroopers under Darth Vader. And some of them will join the rebel forces and help fight against it. Let's just hope that there's more sane people that actually do believe in American democracy and the ideals that it promotes and has promoted for a long, long time. And not so many like yes men bootlickers. They're going to just fall in line with fucking evil. This is all exactly like Nazi Germany. I'm telling everybody, you think that this is a fucking bullshit fucking comparison? No, it isn't. It is not. Especially when people are throwing up Heil Hitler fucking signs like Elon Musk did after he got elected president, fucking Trump did. So I'm just saying, just call it what it is. This is the rise of white supremacy and taking over the U.S. government and an oligarchy. And we need to fucking fight it. Seriously. We need to fight it here, and they need to fight it within their own country. The people that actually believe in freedom and democracy. There you go. And I don't want to make jokes about Doug Ford doing this, Kareem, seriously, because it's a very tricky situation. He wants to be all funny and try and make, like, some of the shit he's just saying is to pander to fucking try and keep votes and stay popular. In some ways, it's bullshit. I really fucking detest that Doug Ford uses alcohol to try and buy votes. Honestly, I think as a person in AA, as an alcoholic, it's disgusting that he uses buck of beer and all kinds of changing the laws with liquor to entice people to vote for him. Fuck you, Doug Ford. You can't fucking use that shit to fucking buy votes. Oh, I'm going to make buck of beer. I'm going to do this shit. Fuck you, Doug Ford. Fuck you. I don't trust you, and I don't think you will protect us from the United States. I hope you do. In some ways, I have support towards you to fucking protect us, but I have no fucking, I don't really trust you, and I think you won't. I think you're going to sell us out at some point, and I'll be right and I'll hate that I'll be right at that point. Seriously, I'll hate that I'll be right. That's what I'm saying right there. There we go. All right, let's see. Here, this Kaloy saying, I still have faith in the Americans will have the balls and gumption to fight back when it comes to it. It's going to be ugly and disgusting. And like I said, this kind of shit shouldn't be happening in a civilized world right now. This is greed and fuckfaces taking power and fucking want to subjugate the masses. Well, are the masses going to stand up is what I'm wondering, because they're going to need to. And enough people need to be involved to stand up. That's right. Elbows up indeed. That's right. Smooth saying that, Carlo, I hope you're right. Well, there is a growing movement in there, and they're not going to show it on TV because the mass media is absolutely compromised at this point. And they're scared of Trump. They're worried about retribution towards them. That's not a free society. So there are already protests going on. And that's part of why Donald Trump said what he said this morning about taking funding from colleges that are going to allow students to protest. There are going to be protests at every fucking college across Canada. I mean, U.S. Across Canada, too. We're protesting up here. They're protesting in Europe against Elon and Donald. right now. They're protesting in Australia against them right now. The whole world is up in protest, but they won't show it on TV because they want to have the narrative and control it and make it seem like it's popular. It's all psyops and bullshit. Trust me, they are out in the streets and there are people fighting this shit in every United States American city right now. And Bernie Sanders is a good person to listen to because he's calling it all out as usual, like he does. And he don't care about being popular. He don't care. He's always been against the war that Israel has on the Palestinians, and he's been unpopular for it and got in trouble for it. Well, he's always spoken the truth. So listen to Bernie, and he's going to say this, and he's getting people organized in some ways too. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Kareem saying when Republican voters feel the effects, they will be voting Democratic in 4 years. I hope they get elections. Seriously, these motherfuckers might wreck that government system so bad that there is no way to fucking beat it at some point. That's what they're trying to do. Ensconce power for a long time. There's already congressmen down there, fuck faces that love Trump, that are trying to change the Constitution so he can run for president again in the next cycle. So let's not get it twisted. The system's not going to save us. Voting's not going to save us. It's already all fucking rigged. Elon's got all the money in the world. He can just funnel it to the fucking candidates that he wants in each congressional district, wherever it matters the most, and he'll fucking get whoever he wants. So it's not like we're going to vote our way out of this situation. We're going to have a revolution. And this isn't going to matter. The Republican idiots that voted for him, the idiot MAGAs that fucking are feeling the effects of it already themselves, yeah, they're going to be mad and they're going to come at him and hopefully they'll join against him. That's what we need to do. That's right. Bryce is saying a Celtics beat writer. Yeah. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. I hope all is well. Thank you, Bryce. Bryce holding it down in Kentucky for us for the Raptor Freaks. Bryce, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing very, very well too. Bryce Lawson. That's right. Kareem's saying, who the hell is Michael Scotto anyway? That's the beat writer I'm talking about. Michael Scotto. Yeah, who the fuck are you, bro? Who the fuck are you? A beat writer? You're just Jake Fisher version for the Celtics? Yeah, apparently he's the guy who started all the Jakob rumors 2 years ago also. That when we got him from San Antonio, he wouldn't sign his extension with us in the summer. It's absolute horse crap. RJ's under contract with us till like 2027. Mike can clarify that with me, right? He's under contract for like 2 years now still. And it's like there's no decision with RJ that has to happen. There's no decision with any of those guys for like 2 years. It's like it's not like we have a big free agency problem next year either. No, we don't. We have these guys all locked down. And that's just the damn truth. That's right. Stargate saying this is the Knicks ownership using a Boston beat writer as proxy to gaslight our fan base to vilify this organization. Yeah, whatever it is, it's very interesting. It's pointedly RJ. You know, they could pick whichever one they want. They could go after IQ. They could go after Scotty. They could do whatever. Maybe they know that Scotty is just not even a possibility because they see how much he's ensconced with our team. And maybe in some ways they see Brandon showing up and they just logically say, this is too much for the Raptors. We need to start the rumors and fucking give problems to like RJ with the rumors about RJ. Yeah, it's bullshit like that. It's bullshit like that. Let's see. Carlos saying, one thing I'm thinking is that when it comes next year, Raptors come out with guns blazing and kick off a 10-game winning streak. And then things get so bad in the U.S., they have to cancel the season. Fuck, man. God forbid. Perish the thought. Once again, any of this kind of stuff, sliding in any kind of way in this direction is not what we want, obviously. And what we're going to need to do is be ready just in case and have plans for ourselves here. And once again, we cannot divide up. We need to stay together and solidify. And communication in your neighborhoods with your neighbors and everybody around you is going to be very, very important. So it's not a good time to close yourself off from the world. In some ways, get yourself out there and make those connections and have a plan. And in some ways, look out for each other and understand what each other's primary skills and gifts that they have, that they can be helpful in certain situations. In some ways, community is the best weapon in these kind of ways of things happening. And we may need to do things smart, seriously. There could be an occupation of some sort in Canada in the near future. And in some ways, we just need to be smart in each situation. You can't just have one sort of plan. In some ways, you may need to do certain things a smart way just to survive or to get through it and just be smart. Once again, the police and military are not our friends necessarily. The Canadians, yes. But anybody like down south right now, when the police call you and they ask you about your neighbors, you need to say, I don't know jack shit, because they're looking for people to extradite and do with ICE kind of shit right now. So it's really clam up. Don't tell people like that. But I'm telling you, community is going to be important to stick together and have a support system with each other and look out for each other. And so I hate this idea, but you know what? I don't want to even think this, Kaloy. This is horrible. Let's see. Of course, if things like that happen, the NBA will be the least of our concerns. Exactly. Exactly. In some ways, we should enjoy being able to watch the Raptors right now. And that's why I want to fucking win right now. Because there's no guarantee about tomorrow, Tank Nation, you dumbasses who just like, oh, we'll get Cooper and we'll be so good next year. There's no fucking guarantee for next year, motherfuckers. Seriously. So let's win games while we still got an NBA to watch right now. Seriously, because we don't know. And in particular, our situation being the only Canadian NBA team, just think about how awkward the situation is for the Raptors and this whole fucking thing that's going on right now. Seriously, think about that. We've already been in a weird place with being the Canadian team in the United States, a league of the NBA. Just think about it if any of this kind of shit turns south. Seriously, it's crazy. Let's keep going. Smooth is saying, I love the tempo's understated design, though. I hope she doesn't mess with that too much. I think that she'll stick with all the colors. And, the understated design will probably be a very much a first season or kind of first couple seasons. But, I could see her. We know she's going to just do something very stylistically awesome. And we should just trust her. I think that there won't be too much complicated stuff. I think they'll keep it simple. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Carlos saying, I hope the revolution happens in the off season. Well, the sad thing is this kind of shit doesn't happen overnight and take care of itself really quickly. In some ways, some of the road that we're going down right now with this bullshit and Trump, it may have reverberations for like decades. Really, like it could have years, decades, maybe even a century of real reverberations. The stuff with the Nazis in Germany is still like, this is why Germany is out protesting like crazy right now, because they see what's happening and they know it all too well. And they've been so vigilant against Nazism and the rise of that kind of shit in their country again, because they know all the ugliness and the bad stuff from their country going through it. And in some ways, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not something that'll get solved easily or fast. In some ways, this could be some shit. I mean, they're in the 4th year of the Ukraine war now. And that's what I'm saying. So, fuck, man. In some ways, let's stay on basketball right now. Y'all gonna bum me out. Seriously. Y'all, we don't need to bring this up unless it's very pertinent and important and we're facing things. I will be an avenue for communication for this kind of stuff and getting the truth out. But at the same time, it depresses the shit out of me. And I'd much rather talk about the Raptors. So, yeah, Kareem Sands corrected on Drake's ownership stake in the Tempo franchise. Mike saying, and cry about players being overpaid, but want to trade the guy with the best contract value at the moment. Shaking my head, laugh out loud. He scores as much as he makes, 20 million-ish. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really just the same action. And we should recognize that kind of action and just ignore it. Honestly, Raptors fans who are taking this story by Michael Scudu or whatever his fucking name is and ponying it around everywhere, shame on you. And seriously, use your critical thinking and understand the trade deadline was 2 weeks ago. Who the fuck is trading or shopping around RJ right now? That sounds like such horse crap. Seriously, especially since he's fitting in the salary cap and there's no necessary reason to trade him. It's stupid. It's the same shit they did with Siakam and Anunoby because they saw how good these guys were. And they're like, they can't be on Toronto. They can't be on Toronto. They're too good. And eventually they did have to leave. But that's what I'm saying. That kind of noise ends up with things like that happening. And that's why I'm denying that noise. And I'm saying we can make it work. Bobby Webster knows how to make this work with the salary cap. And he will. He will. Fiercely saying, Lex, I know you didn't watch the Super Bowl, but as part of Kendrick's performance, Serena did the crip walk, and it was a direct jab at Drake. Huge frenzy about her dancing on stage and taking a side. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I you know what she said is that's the proudest moment of her life. That even with all the great achievements in tennis, that her performance with Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl this year is like the best moment of her life. She really said that. Isn't that amazing? You know what? You're right. This right really kind of does make things uncomfortable. I didn't think about that in this context because you're right. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. And I don't really think about it. My world does not revolve around the Kendrick and Drake beef. So I have to remember, it's basically just Drake against everybody at this point. Fucking dumbass. Well, I don't know. He better be okay with what they just did yesterday. If he isn't, well, maybe he's selling his stake. I don't know. Either way, like I would say this, who's got the bigger stake? Who's going to have more say? Who are they equal? Or is there going to be even like any kind of problem because of this? I don't know, Teresa. You might need to look into this and understand whether Aubrey has a problem with Serena Williams. Well, I'm gonna say you pick Serena and fuck get Drake out if he's an issue in this situation because he's the toxic one. He's the toxic one in this situation. This is a good point, Marie. I did not remember this, MJ. Mike saying quickly missing games this season won't happen again, most likely. He doesn't have a bad health history. It was a contact injury on a screen. Yeah, he took a really hard screen and got hurt at the beginning of the year. He had 3 different injuries this year that he got hurt with in different times and stuff like that. He 3 different injuries. Yeah, let's see. All right, and I like what you're saying. He says as himself, he's really not had injury problems his whole entire life, and this is the most hurt he's been this year. This year, right now. Yeah, Mike's saying critical thinking led me to cut many Raptors related social media content. It feels great. No outside negative influences. Yeah, we feed our brains with our whatever we see online, and we need to be more cognizant of what we're feeding ourselves because that's how they get people in their fucking dumbass ways, like they did Bradley. You go into certain places and you see certain rhetoric, and they really shape your mind into really fucking awful places, like what happened to our old friend. And that's why you have to be very, very thinking and aware of what is trying to be fed to you. And right now, that's why I'm saying I'm leaving Facebook is because I don't trust the feed. I don't trust what they're curating for me and putting in front of me. I think that there's very devious reasons for the algorithm of what the content is coming and putting in front of me. And there's no fact checkers, so there's really a lot of misinformation. And I'll look at a post and I'll say that's absolutely horse crap. That's not real. And it'll be a post about food. It'll be like, oh, if you do this, you should drink less water because of this. It's really reckless and dangerous because some people will take that information and think that it's really helpful, but it could be harmful for them. I'm telling you, they can weaponize our feeds and giving us poor information, and we may think something is true and it's not, and it can be it could be hurtful to our health. Just so you know. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying they're all scared of what is to come. The Raptors on the court because they know we're going to dominate. So they're trying to tear it down before it even starts. Yeah, Trevor's exactly right. The Raptors have a good recipe. They see the ingredients on the list and they don't like the ingredients, and they're going to try and steal one of the secret ingredients so that doesn't taste right. Trevor's exactly right there. They see the writing on the wall. They see the great rookies we have this year. They see Brandon Ingram's on our team. We haven't even added him yet. And they see how well we compete already. And Trevor's exactly right. Exactly right. Way to go, Fiercey. I like that. Stargate saying, wow, a few of my comments have been deleted. I guess if one types the Orange Man's name, yeah, you can't write that name in. It's banned. So don't write that word in. That's what it is. I have certain words that are banned from this channel, and a lot of them are political. So if you're writing any proper names of certain people, that is from me. It's not YouTube. It's not any kind of conspiracy, Stargate. Just so you know, I did that because I don't want to talk about these people. And I put Biden on there. I put Kamala on there. There's a whole bunch of specific proper names for politicians. Trudeau's one of them too, that you can't write on this channel. And that's what it is. If you're writing Trump's name straight, you can't write it here because it's on my banned words list. So just so you know, that's what it is. Okay. And it's not anything nefarious. That was specifically done by me because I didn't want this shit in here. So that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. It's if you type the Orange Man's name or a South African buddy, it flags comments for deletion, and yet they brag about freedom. No, this is me, and it's not about them. I don't want to talk about them. During the election, I banned these words because I didn't want people coming in here saying shit about the whole thing. Maybe I should unban them so we can freely speak about them. Put in some derogatory nicknames for them if you want to talk about them, but don't put their name specifically. You can talk about them, but just call them a name like the Orange Man or fucking Muskrat or whatever you want to say. But know that, yeah, their proper names are banned in this. I mean, I could take it off if you really think it's a threat on your freedom. It was just me limiting having to talk about politics on here. That's the whole reason right there. I hope that clears it up for you. And don't get deep into any kind of conspiracy because that's not what it is. That's not what it is. I have a list of banned words, and tank is on there. You can't write the word tank in here. And there's a couple other words that I wrote in there that I just hate seeing and that I don't want to see in the chat. And that's exactly what it is, Stargate. Okay. Mo's saying, hey, Lex, if I meet Vince at the event tomorrow, how do I say laugh out loud? I'm so happy. Turn off my phone during the event on silent. Okay. So Mo's going to the world event tomorrow. The really big gala down at the CNE down at Exhibition Place, the Raptors World event. And if you meet Vince, listen, Mo, I want you to just be yourself. You don't have to do anything for us. I get it. You're like me. You have some feelings about Vince that aren't resolved. You know what you could do, Mo? And this could be very, very powerful. You should tell him about how you felt when he left. You should tell him straight up that it hurt and that you didn't want him to leave and you didn't want that trade to happen, and see how he reacts. If you do get a chance to talk to Vince, it'd be amazing if Monique Lawrence could straight up say to him, the way you left Toronto hurt me as a fan. And I want you to know that, and just see what he says. Just see what he says to that. Because if you do that, you don't have to do that. That would be my suggestion, though. Because if you really want to heal things with him, like I'm trying to too, I think that if you get the chance to talk to him and you could tell him personally, I'm a super fan of the Raptors. I've always been with the Raptors, and I love you, man. You did so much good for our team, really. But when you left and the way things went down, it really hurt my heart and my soul as a fan. And you turned your back on us and became a villain. And I know it's not totally your fault, but I just want you to know that it really hurt. And that's all. And see how he reacts. See if he's kind of like, you know what, Monique, I'm so sorry. What if he apologizes to you personally, right in that instance, as a fan, not as the front office, not as Rob Babcock, not as Richard Dumbass Petty. He might apologize to you personally right in that moment. That's up to you, though. If you don't want to stir the boat and you just want to say, Vince, I love you, it's so nice to meet you, that's fine too. But if you do get that opportunity, think about telling him that and just see how he reacts. And if he does and you get that opportunity, come back and tell us, because I'd love to hear exactly what Vince would do if you said that to him. Seriously. Mike's saying backup point guard as a rookie is a tough entry position. Shed is showing enough for me to see how he becomes more consistent and fills the role. Yeah, I love it. There may be some limitations to Shed down the road athletically, but mentally and leadership wise, they're there. He's got it. But in some ways, there may be some limitations to the ceiling of what Shed can do just because of his athletic body. And we'll have to see. But he's more athletic than Fred. He can get up there and dunk better. Neil's saying John Chrétien predicted bad relations with the U.S. during his PM run. Canada has shifted their reliance on the U.S. since then. This is good. In some ways, I know it's scary and ominous. Some people have likened it to like we live next to a meth house right now, Canada in the United States. And, there's a lot more to Canada than you guys think. There's a lot of things that we do have in strengths. And in some ways, it won't be an easy thing if the United States tries to fuck with us. So either way, like I said, I hope cooler heads prevail. In some ways, we don't look anything different from them. Americans, Canadians, we all look the same. And in some ways, that is something that will help in this, because you don't want to kill people that look like you. You know what I'm saying? It's not ever a good look. And in some ways, you search your heart and you're kind of like, man, this isn't right. Because look, these are just people that they're just Canadians, but they're just like us in the United States, Americans. So there's all kinds of different levels to this. God forbid, and perish the thought once again. And I don't want any more comments about the U.S. Canada shit right now. Seriously, I want to have a good day. And in some ways, I don't want to fill my head with horror possibilities of things happening. Seriously. And just know, like I said, fuck around and find out. And, we got home turf up here if you really do want to do some shit. But I don't want to get even to talk about this kind of shit. I don't want to get all like John Wayne, like fucking Doug Ford is doing right now. I just want this shit to go away. In some ways, now I really wish that fucking fake assassination attempt last year had been a real one and it had been executed. Honestly, a lot of things would be a lot easier right this moment if it had. Seriously, who knows? Maybe that dude was a time traveler like John Connor. And he's like trying to save the world. And that's why that dude was on that roof or something like that. I know that sounds crazy and it makes me sound stupid. But think about it. Maybe there's people from the future who come back in time to try and fucking stop this shit because they see what's going to happen in the years to come. Seriously. Stargate saying it, Neil. Yeah, I remember him stating that. Wow, there's a name from the past. Yeah, Jean Chrétien. There's a lot of old Canadian leadership that are watching things and trying to look out in certain ways. Seriously. Stargate saying it's going to be the same racist rednecks who were so much in support of Orange that will be the same people who turn on him. Watch. Within 2 years, he will fall on his own sword. Don't worry, Lex. I hope you're exactly right. And I do see this. Like I said, it takes personal repercussions for people to suffer, and then they fucking get it. It's real easy to be like, I don't care what happens. It's not affecting me. If it hurts the black people, good. Well, if it affects you, motherfucker, you may feel it, and then all of a sudden you understand, is what I'm saying. And that's the thing. A lot of the people that support him are going to be, they're already hurting. Some of them are losing their jobs and like, I voted for you and you fired me already. Yeah, because you were idiots and you listened to liars and you believed lies. A fucking con man, a fucking shim sham man, a fucking robber barons have taken control of the U.S. government. Yeah, I hope that you're right. I hope you're right, Stargate. But once again, I don't have any faith in the American political system, let alone the Canadian political system, of fixing things in democracy in ways of voting. I really don't. I still believe that Kamala actually won and that Elon paid the media off and they called the election early for Trump and they just fucking took the election. And that actually the United States actually voted for Harris and she won the election just like Biden. But they fucking learned from losing to Biden in 2020 that we can't allow the votes to just be counted and help we win. We're just going to take it, grab it by the pussy. So I still believe that's true right now. And because why wouldn't you think that? The Washington Post is owned by Bezos and it's just totally corrupted now. The media in the United States is not a real thing anymore. And they would have just gone along with what Trump is doing and said, yeah, he's the winner. And they called it at like 11 p.m. That's fishy as fuck. That's way too early in the evening for a close election to be called, especially when California ain't been called yet. You know, it's bullshit, man. It's absolute bullshit. So I'm just going to say it's not going to be done through. And this is the thing where there's going to be key battleground states of elections. Elon will throw billions of dollars at that election and buy it and make sure the person that they want is there will win it. So I'm telling you, it may not be reformed through the system because the system is corrupted. The system has led to this, honestly. So why the fuck would we think the system's going to correct this? Mike's saying RJ is signed for 2 more years. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This is so stupid, so dumb. A lot of these stories, I could expect them in like a year or 2 from now, but not now. We got to enjoy our time because these guys are locked down. That's right. Mike's saying RJ makes 25 million this year, 27 million next year, and 29 million the year after that. See, RJ's on our team for 3 years. I don't understand why people keep saying he's got to go somewhere. That's right. The Stargate saying at Logical, isn't RJ's contract considered a very good one in context? You're the contract guy. I'm not so versed in this shit. Yeah, it's actually a really good contract. It was a toxic asset in New York because of what he gave to them and what they were all getting on tizzy. And New York fans are a little too over analytical with the magnifying glass. In some ways, they're too cynical and it's not good enough. So some of the things they'll say, a toxic asset, it's absolute horse crap. No, he's on a bargain. And honestly, he is on a bargain for what we're going to get from him in those years. Watch. Very much so. Very much so. Fiercely saying, with all due respect to Wemby, the Spurs tanked for him and still went to tanking with him. So having Cooper is no guarantee. Yeah, I don't even care. He's not going to add up to winning like Brandon Ingram's going to add up to winning. No. You know, we got a guy who's 9 years in the league, who's an absolute proven scorer who can score in the NBA against all these teams. We already have a track record. We've already seen it. This man was a most improved player. And this guy, like I said, is the closest thing to Kevin Durant that's ever been on our team. So I'm just saying, it's like, who's going to come and make us better next year? Brandon Ingram. It's not going to be the first round pick, guys. I don't know why these fans think that the first round pick is the savior. No, Brandon Ingram's the savior. That's right. Brandon Ingram is the savior for the Raptors right there. 1033 W Stream fam. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. Roger Raymond is in the house. Good day, Raptor Freaks family. Will Stank Nation return all ticket sales if the team deliberately plays to lose? Nonsense. Let's go, Raptors. There you go, Roger Raymond. Good to see a good Raptor Freak named Roger Raymond this morning. I think it's crazy that the Mavericks have decided to raise their ticket prices. Did you see that announcement in the last 2 days? Mavericks season ticket prices going up next year. Wow, that's the wrong direction. To me, that gets me all Winders and critical thinking that like maybe they do really want to move that team from Dallas. They're going to piss people off and hurt their ticket sales so they can move the team to Las Vegas? Because that's what this seems like. Seriously, I don't know. They've already pissed off the Mavericks fans so much. They're going to raise ticket prices on them too? That's insane. That tells you all you need to know about Adelson and her fucking bullshit. Her fucking genocidal bullshit right there. Yeah. You know what? Listen, with us, as far as ticket sales, I just assume that every team raises their ticket prices every year. At this point, I mean, it's a corporation. They're greedy. They're going to try and make as much money as they can. People going to pay it. They're just raising their ticket prices. And everybody who gets mad at teams for raising ticket prices when the team is bad, well, they just raise prices anyway. They don't care about how the team's doing or whether they traded a franchise career player like Luka. No, they're just going to raise ticket prices. So I just expect all 30 teams in the NBA to raise their tickets every year. I just expect it. It's like it's just the action. When have they ever lowered them? Seriously, when have they ever lowered them? Come on now. Mike's saying Tobias Harris makes 25 million this year. Anthony Simons makes 25 million. Jonathan Isaac makes 25 million. What? RJ has a great contract. This is wow. There's some good context right there. There's some good context right there with those prices for those guys. I mean, I can understand Anthony Simmons. He's a good player. And Tobias Harris, well, he's always been overpaid. We know that. But Isaac for 25 million? What is going on here? That's obviously the crazy ass MAGA owners of Orlando Magic loving his MAGA ass, giving him a crazy contract like that as a backup power forward on their team. That is ridiculous. All right, Mike, you are going to get a dunk right here, man. Mike is getting a dunk for that factoid right there. 24 points from Mike on the dunk charts. There you go. Nick Claxton, 27 million. You can go on all day. Yeah, I say that's pretty fair for RJ. I say that's pretty fair. Stargate saying, no, Lex, keep them on. I thought it was YouTube doing it. Yeah, I just want to clarify. I don't want you to think anything crazy. And well, I debunked this conspiracy theory today. So, hey, we got some progress here. I might review them and see if I want to add some. Seriously, I don't know. I don't like being restrictive. It's just in some ways I did that because there were trolls coming into the stream for a while and they were just bringing shit in here from time to time. And I just didn't want to have certain subjects come up in the channel. So I put them on that list. That's right. Stargate saying, okay, logical. So that would mean that at least for 2 more years, RJ is really, really friendly contract wise. Good stuff. That's the truth. And that's what we need to go forth with RFF and educate the rest of the Raptors fans with, is that this is exactly the truth. RJ's on a very reasonable contract for 2 years. And we don't have to worry about RJ with nothing. Now, if the Masai and Bobby are doing shady shit behind his back, they want to do a DeMar DeRozan to him at some point in the next 2 years. Well, we can't handle that. That's them. Then we got to trust them. They're going to do what they can do because, last time it led to a championship. But in some ways, I'd hate that because in some ways, I really do have utmost loyalty and love for our own hometown guy, RJ Barrett. And I know that Bobby and Masai really don't take this shit lightly. And they really think about that whole aspect of things before they move anybody like a DeMar DeRozan or a RJ Barrett. And that's why, listen, people are going to make up this like this Michael Scudo guy. Listen, they don't understand the depth and the bonds and the deepness of this. They're not respecting that. In some ways, it's disrespectful, these trade rumors, because they got to understand this is Toronto guy playing for Toronto. And that's why they do it. That's why they do it. Right there. That's right. Smooth saying, Io Sky beats Rhea Ripley, new women's champ, will be facing Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. That's from Raw last night or Monday Night Raw on Netflix. There you go. Yeah, Stargate. Yeah. Yeah. And Smooth saying, I have a feeling Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley will align themselves. Okay. Not watching the current product still, but if you want to do a little WWE update, okay, we'll do that for a sec. Just for a sec. Mike saying Pirtle is the one that needs a contract first. He has a player option after next year, but all signs point to keeping Pirtle 100%. He's been planned for in the money. That's what Masai told Pirtle. There you go. Once again, now that's the thing. That's the next one coming up. Mike's saying Pirtle is the next one that will come up. He had a 4-year deal signed at 80 million, 20 million a year. So let's figure it out. He's on his 2nd year of that. So he goes next year on 20 million. He has an option for a 4th year. Is that right, Mike? Is that what it is? Because I know he got 4 years. And I think it was 3 with an option. And they're at 20 million a year. Yeah, but he made it all fit. Stargate saying Jade and Rhea would be a monster team. Yeah, cool. And Stargate saying, Lex, switching topics a bit. I didn't realize that Mark Henry discovered a lot of the talent in WWE. Jade, Bianca, and Braun, to name a few. That's interesting. I didn't realize that either. But of course, Mark Henry's in AEW, right? Blackhawks here saying, Lex, RJ is coming up because Sports Illustrated stated RJ was trade piece for BI, but Pelicans wanted KO and BB expiring contracts. Yeah, I mean, that's dumb. This trade's already happened, and it happened the way it did, and, well, we didn't have to send RJ to get Brandon. So, it's kinda dumb. Seriously, what is this? So they're just recycling an old story of an old news that already happened? So that's weird. Why would they do this? Well, just to be assholes and cause this shit. RJ knows what's going on. He talks to Bobby, he talks to Masai, he talks to Scotty, he talks to Darko. RJ's not worried about this shit. Fans would go ahead and have their extraneous noise that doesn't matter. You guys want to fucking be idiots and run around with RJ trade rumors. You go ahead. But we figured it out here. We've debunked this shit. And once again, I'll say it over and over again. If it's not trade season, if the ability to trade players is not there currently, don't listen to any fucking trade talk whatsoever because it's not even the season. That's part of the joy of the trade deadline coming and going, that we don't have to worry about trades anymore. So when people bring up this shit, and there's 2 sections of the year where there's absolutely no trading, I say, why the fuck are you even bringing this up? Because this is actually not a window of time where trades can happen. So I will always say to that, look in your calendar, figure out, is this a part of the year where the trades actually are allowed to happen? Then maybe go from there as far as maybe listening to it. And also discover if it's not coming from a Canadian news source, it's from the States, it's absolute horse crap every time. Every single time. I'm sorry, American media. You can't act like you don't watch the Raptors and say, we don't know. And you don't watch us. You don't pay attention to us. And then turn around on the other coin and tell us what we're doing in our trade rumors. No, you can't have it that way. You can't ignore us all the time and then act like you're experts on what we're doing. Nah, it don't work that way. Don't work that way. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Reggie's saying, yeah, I heard he was instrumental in getting Jade to WWE from AEW. Interesting. So he's turncoat on AEW. Tony Khan needs to lose his company anyway. He runs it in the ground. Most saying Bell is doing another Raptors Open Gym screening posted in the group. Cool, man. Very, very cool. Yeah, Open Gym, I love you. You're the best. You're the history of the Raptors, the true bona fide accounts of the real Raptors history, and not any bullshit that Sportsnet's producing and putting out right now. That's what I'll say right there. Mike's saying if you compare Tobias Harris to RJ this year, RJ clears and they make the same money. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a low bar for me in some ways. Although Tobias Harris in some ways is underrated. He may have been overpaid in Philadelphia for all those years and a headache to Sixers fans, but in some ways on a newer contract with this lower money, he's actually maybe apropos at the money he's at right now. It's just he was always paid too much for what he was doing. But in Detroit, he's having a real advantage to helping them win. And he's part of the reason why they're successful right now. So it may be very worth it on that contract for the Pistons right now. But yeah, I think that also, once again, a big part of the reason that the Sixers are the way they are this year is they missed Tobias Harris. In some ways, he's kind of like a glue guy, like Scotty is for us, as far as a guy who's doing all the dirty work, a lot of long arm kind of stuff, and just defensive stuff, and filling in here and there. I think that the Sixers have missed Tobias Harris deeply since he left and went to Detroit. And that's on the download part of the reason why the Sixers have been such a disappointment this year. It's kind of interesting. Smooth saying Jade is married to Brandon Phillips, former MLB player. Very lucky man indeed. Former Cincinnati Reds second baseman Brandon Phillips is married to Jade Cargill. Interesting. I didn't know that. I know who Brandon is. I've had him on a fantasy baseball team in the past when I did fantasy baseball for a while. That's right. Super fan Mo's got my cutoff, y'all. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always. Lex, Raptor Freak Crew strong forever. Just helping me limit those comments. I appreciate the cut off. Monique, and yes, please talk to Vince Carter if you get a chance. Talk to anybody. Tell Scotty the Raptor Freaks love him. Tell Scotty, if you see Scotty, say Raptor Freaks love you. Raptor Freaks said, what up? Yeah, tell them that. And he'll remember Raptor Freak. He'll remember because he met me, he met Tom, and he knows the Raptor Freaks because of our channel here. So yeah, check in with him. Maybe even say hi to Darko and say, yeah, Raptor Freak family loves you. You just tell them, if you want to represent us and put us on blast at that event. I'd be so grateful, Mo. You don't have to. I know you're your own person. And in some ways you are RFF and you're part of our family for sure. But also you don't need to selflessly promote me. But if you did say to Scott, Raptor Freak says, what's up? I'd appreciate that at least. Because Scotty and I from Twitch. That's right. That's right. Mike is saying, yeah, you're right on Pirtle Lex. Yeah. See, it's 3 years. And he has the extra year with the extension at 20 million. And Mike's saying the forecast for the salary cap, it's all fitting and it's not a problem. Where our 5 starters are here for good for now. And there's no problems for like 3 years, guys. Seriously. That's what Raptors fans need to know. All right, let me get into the extracurriculars. My producer, Trevor J, is telling me to get on some stuff real quick. So let's go ahead and look at the tabs, and we'll do the classic card right after that. All right, Instagram stories. There's a tennis court on the Toronto Tempos thing. Tennis court, huh? It's because of Serena. That's right. New court, new game. Serena Williams announced as a part owner of the Toronto Tempo. I love this so much. And like I said, she's going to be involved in the design and the look of the team in a lot of different ways. She's going to be working with this. This is so awesome. This is huge, huge, Teresa. Huge. There's DeMar DeRozan coming in the game. Dallas. You know, DeMar got in a fight with Dylan Brooks again recently. This is the second time DeMar DeRozan's thrown down with Dylan Brooks. And you know what? I don't hate this. In some ways, Dylan Brooks is a certain personality. So is DeMar DeRozan. They're fiery guys, and they stand on their business. And, well, I love them both. And in some ways, seeing the fiery competitiveness where they get in each other's faces, some of it is Dylan got mad at DeMar for pushing Jalen Green down, and then he ran over and got in his face to protect his teammate, and DeMar didn't back down. These guys have no love lost. That's for sure. And Dylan Brooks is funny because he's a kid who grew up in Toronto. He probably watched DeMar DeRozan on the Raptors and was a fan of his, and he's not afraid to get in his face. Man, in some ways, that rivalry is interesting because there's twice now that those dudes have gone at it, and it happened again recently. So, yeah, DeMar, you're awesome. I love you, man. You're always a goat to me, and fuck you, Drake, as well say every single time. There you go. Eric Smith's putting on blast that Team Canada Basketball is hiring a coordinator and communications and content person. The deadline to apply is March the 14th. Well, maybe Lex should put in something for that. I don't know. Maybe I just like my job now. That's right. Toronto Tempo Prez, Teresa Resch celebrating the Serena Williams announcement yesterday. And like I said, she said this, got to break our own news without a leak, screaming, crying, throwing up. Teresa, I know it's been an odyssey so far, this journey of starting the Toronto Tempo. I love you. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. This is a huge news yesterday. I'm so proud of you guys. It's going to be really good. So I was right yesterday. I was right. The Raptors did not go to Tampa, Ybor City. They did not go to Miami. They did not go see Scott's family in Palm Beach. No, they stayed in Orlando, and they went to Universal Studios yesterday. They didn't go to Disney World, but they went to Universal Studios. And first, we got Emmanuel quickly at the game with the baskets. Of course, the basketball with the long hoop, and he had to shoot some shots. And he said, "Nah, I'm like that." And it looks like he got two big plush stuffed animals. So Emmanuel's saying, "Nah, I'm like that." He's winning carnival games at Universal Studios yesterday, bombing shots on the basket. Doing his profession. In some ways, he should have came up to them and said, listen, I'm kind of a ringer. In some ways, don't tell the guy. It's like, no, wait, you're Emmanuel Quickly. You play for the Toronto Raptors. Wait, you can't play my basketball game and win all my plushies. Oh my gosh, that's what happened. Emmanuel's like that. He just went to Universal Studios and won some plushies. That's right. There's a nice picture of him. I believe that's his uncle or his grandfather. He was talking about him on the broadcast the other day as he's the man who was the influence on him to put God first in his life. And it's a very nice picture. It's a picture of young Emmanuel dribbling. And I think it was an open gym moment or something. But Emmanuel was talking about the influence of this man. I think it was his grandfather. It's either his grandfather or his uncle. I don't remember exactly which. Yeah, let's keep going. Wubs at Universal Studios at the entrance. I'm so happy to see the Raptors doing some fun team activities outside and somewhere fun like Universal. So, yeah, there's Jacoby with that new chain. The new chain he got for MLSE Launchpad. It's got the Maple Leaf on there and the Raptor on there. It's interesting. It's a lot different than the regular chain that spins. A lot different. Raptors 905, do I even want to look at your Instagram stories? I kind of don't. They're a nightmare. So I'm going to just move along. Pascal Siakam walking in the game looking slick and nice always. All the action photos of Pascal and the Pacers doing things that they do and their team in the Central Division. Always hoping the best things for Siakam and the Pacers. And that's right. He's even got his PS43 Foundation stuff up on his Instagram right now. Kelly Olynyk killing it for the Pelicans, helping them win against the Jazz, his former team, just killing it. He's 26 points. Of course, he's still in the Bar Burrito commercials. And it's funny. He says here, hey, Canada, even though I'm not there anymore, don't worry. You can still score the classic Kelly at Bar Burrito. Don't miss your shot. Grab it before the buzzer on April the 30th. So, yeah, even though he ain't playing in Toronto anymore, you don't work in that building anymore, that dance guy. Well, you can still go to Bar Burrito and get the Kelly Olynyk Classic And the Grady one too. You can get the Grady order too. So Barbarito, Raptors fans, go support them. Are they Canadian company? I would ask that though. But yeah, go support them because of Kelly and Grady. And they paid for our Raptors to be in the commercial. Well, Raptors fans, we want to support the things that our guys are supporting. That's right. So Barbarito, get the classic Kelly. That's right. And there's a picture of him with it. Those commercials are funny with Grady and Kelly. And there's like two other guys in the place. And they're like, oh, it's the Raptors. Oh, and they throw the ball at them and it's like bounces off their face. It's kind of funny. Jay Nathan at Universal Studios, Florida, with a picture of the castle at Universal. It looks like a huge crowd there. It looks like it's very busy there. Hopefully our Raptors are not mobbed or annoyed or bothered by everybody, and they can just have fun at the Universal Studios yesterday. Scotty with a picture of him at Universal Studios in front of the thing. Actually, that's not him. That looks like Shamshay. Is that Scotty? No, that is Scotty. That is Scotty. Yeah, because there's the little thing he has on his leg always. So Scotty Barnes taking a picture of him at Universal Studios. So the whole team is there. We see Emmanuel, Jonathan, Jacoby, and Scotty confirmed at Universal Studios yesterday. There's your Instagram stories for the day. I said that yesterday. I said maybe they'll go to Disney or Universal. Well, they went to Universal. So that's what they did, man. That's what they did. Yeah. Mike Sand quickly cleaning out the basketball game. Yeah. He went to Universal and killed it. It's funny, man. That's my guy IQ, bro. I wonder if he did a little run around and then spot stop and shot it like he does. And I wonder if it just barely hits the front of the rim and falls in. That'd be so funny to see quick. Because you know those hoops, Mike. Those carnival game hoops are always just enough size for the ball to go through. They're smaller than regular hoops. They're not totally legit. They'll show you that they can do it, but man, they're not easy to shoot in. That's some lethal shooter kind of skills shooting to do that. All right, let's go classic card, baby. All right, we're rolling today. Let's see. I got 20 minutes till 2 hours. We'll hopefully get done right on time today. Okay, we've done this card. I don't want to do it again, so we'll move on. No. That one's hard, actually, that one I just pulled. Okay, this is a good one. This will be interesting. We'll see who knows this one. Classic card of the day. Smooth, if you're here, this is yours to take. Right here, guys. Who knows who this classic card of the day is? He kind of looks like Sam Mitchell, doesn't he? He looks a little bit like Sam Mitchell, but it's not Sam Mitchell. If you can get the classic card of the day, you get the Raptor Freak trivia points for the day. And Smooth is killing it. Smooth is like 10,000 Raptor Freak points. And the next person is like 5,500. So you've almost doubled up your closest competitor, Smooth, with the classic card. Really, really good work. Jerome Kersey, Stargate. That's the right time period, but it is not Jerome. Jerome played small forward. This guy plays shooting guard, maybe a little bit of small forward. Jamal Crawford is not right. Smooth's got it. It is Walter Davis. The great Walter Davis played for also the Denver Nuggets, but this is him on Portland. A little bit after the Denver Nuggets and stuff like that. So, yeah, Walter Davis is the man. Oh, yeah, he was on the Suns, too. He started his career with the Suns. Yeah, North Carolina's Walter Davis. Smooth Brown Man's going to get 200 points once again on the classic card. Man, this guy really is the Ahmad Rashad of this channel. Seriously, this man knows his classic NBA players. And we're going to put it on here. Let's see. Smooth did not get the one yesterday, so his streak got broken up by Blackhawk and Slug Easy recently. But you know what? That's all right. There you go. Slugged easy. Smooth, 200. I'm going to give you 200 for this one because Walter is not the most well-known former star in the NBA. Yeah. You remember Walter from the Suns. Yeah. Walter was kind of on the Suns at the tail end of their like drug period. Yeah, there was that period of the Suns were almost going to lose their franchise because they had really bad cocaine problem with most of the team. And in the early 80s, they were in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of bad PR for the Suns franchise right around 1980 to, the late 70s, early 80s. Really, really bad over there. Yeah, you were a nerd for this stuff in the 90s. You know what? I love it. I was too. I totally was too. I was a kid in high school and grade school that used to write out the whole list of all the NBA players on their teams and like rank them in their depth chart. Like I'd love to, like I'd get the Street and Smith or the Beckett's or any kind of publishing about basketball, NBA, because obviously there's no internet. I get like the thing that come out every year with all the players, and I'd like to write out lists of each franchise. I go Atlanta Hawks, point guard Doc Rivers, shooting guard John Battle, small forward Dominique Wilkins, power forward Kevin Willis, center Moses Malone, backup point guard Spud Webb. And then I'd write the whole team's rosters and rotations in order to look at the depth charts of all the NBA teams at that time. So I have old like notebooks in my handwriting as a kid of all these teams from the 80s and 90s and writing out the players. And that's how I knew a lot of them. It was that way. Yeah. Yeah. Purple haze all in my brain. Yeah. Purple haze with the Suns. Stargate saying the first person I really remember with a huge drug issue publicly was Roy Tarpley of the Dallas Mavericks. That's right. Roy Tarpley was going to be an all-star. He was a 20-point scorer, and he just could not put the bottle down. He had a very, very severe alcohol problem, and he got DUIs, and he found himself bounced out of the league. The most famous first one for me was Michael Ray Richardson. And Michael Ray Richardson got kicked out of the league for, pretty heavy drugs. Of course, Richard Dumas is another person who got banned from the NBA for his drug abuse, but he got let back in on a second chance, and he had a little bit of a reclaiming of his career. Richard Dumas, who was also a Phoenix Sun at that time. Yeah. Yeah. Smooth saying back then it was all a love affair with the game for me. There you go. There you go. I like that. And Black Hawk wants Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd. Okay. Oh, Walter Floyd or Walter Davis or Eric Floyd. I don't know. Yeah. Dumas. Yeah. Tarpley was a very sad case. Yeah. Yeah, he had all the potential in the world, and he got screwed up like 4 years into his career. Really didn't get started in the way he could have, and he was so promising for the Mavs too. Like really, really promising at that time. Yeah, Mike saying whiteout meant something different in the '80s to the Suns fan. Woo! In some ways, that's why they needed Magic and Larry to come in there and save the league. Seriously, it was a very bad PR. Was going on around the league right now. All right, let's go back and do the rundown really quick and get out of here, guys. The injuries for the Raptors today. Ochai Agbaji is out. Jamison Battle is out. Garrett Temple is out. Grady Dick is out. Ulrich Shamshe is out. Brandon Ingram is out. So I'm speculating that it will be Barbecue, Jacoby Yak. Barbecue, Jacoby Yak is the starting lineup I'm going to guess for today. The Magic have the same exact injuries as far as Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner are out. So we will see the same Magic team all around. No differences. Same guys we saw on Sunday once again. The referees for today's game are Ben Taylor, JT Orr, and John Conley. All three of the refs favor us, and they're all very good refs for the Raptors historically. We win all of them about 55% of our games. So this is a very favorable crew for the Raptors, and they all favor us statistically against the Magic, just so y'all know. So there's a real chance we could get the sweep and beat them today. Seriously. The Raptors 905 lost by 10 to the Indiana Mad Ants yesterday. My 3 stars of the game in that game were Charlie Brown Jr., Frank Kaminsky III, and Jared Roden. That's right. Let's see. Is there anything interesting on ESPN? No. Is there anything interesting on Blue Skies? Let's just see the latest news on something here with there's some. Okay, let's see. Blake Murphy is saying an hour ago, when Orlando Robinson gets converted to an NBA deal today, it will just be rest of season, no additional years. I'd expect Roden to get another 10-day or the two-way spot, as 905 just added Lacey James back from the player pool. Colin Castleton and Kyler Kelly are centers of interest. This is interesting. Okay, so Blake's saying that we're going to convert Orlando to a regular contract today, and it's not going to be past this year. They're just going to give him a contract for the rest of this year. I'm sure Mike's listening to me very closely right now. And Jared Roden's going to get another 10-day or the two-way spot that Orlando Robinson's vacating and be playing for us more. And then Lacey James will be playing more for the Raptors at that level. And they're looking at Colin Castleton and Kyler Kelly. Kyler Kelly, of course, played for the Raptors 905 in the last couple years. A very skinny center who's very active, but he does have some really interesting length. And he's not a bad shooter also. He actually looked really good the last time I saw him play against 905 in G League. So we'll have to see if Kyler Kelly's back in the plans for the Raptors 905 at some level. He could actually help us in the ways some of the things we're missing from Shamshe. Not totally in the physical presence, but in the shot blocking, the rim protection. So, yeah, there's our check-in with Blue Skies, and it was fruitful. We got a little tidbit from Blake Murphy. Let's see what's going on Raptors Reddit. They're kind of excited about the Serena Williams news on Raptors Reddit. That's good. They got the new chain with Jacoby cheesing for it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Looks like Raptors Reddit's kind of keeping things right and not being too crazy right now. So there you go. All right, Raptors Reddit, you're on your best behavior right now. I like that. I like that. Keep it that way. Seriously. Keep it that way. Seriously. All right, here we go. Birthdays for today. There's one birthday. We got a happy birthday to go into Jarrett Sullinger, former Raptor, former Ohio State center. Jarrett Sullinger. It's his birthday. He's 33 today. 33 years old. Jarrett Sullinger. Happy birthday, Jarrett. Of course, he was on the Raptors not for very long, just for a little bit there. If y'all have a fantasy team, play it. Get it ready and get your lineup set. Cool Cat, I got you. Got you beat by 7-0 right now. Currently in the Raptor Freak Fantasy Basketball League. Yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying after what I just said. We'll clean it up. We got about 10 minutes. Let's see. Trevor's saying Michael Jordan's opened up a new health center in his hometown, free health care. That's great. Honestly, I'm selling you, man. You know, listen, I get it. Rich people want to be richer and they don't want to spend money on helping people. Well, then they have to do it like what Michael's doing. In some ways, it's much better to have a social safety net that comes from the government, honestly. I don't believe in this crap where we have to depend on charity from rich people to save people. That's really fucked up. That's not a good system. Those aren't feel-good stories in a way. They should have a healthcare system that does this already, and Michael Jordan shouldn't have to do this shit, honestly. It's kind of pathetic, honestly. I commend Michael for doing this. He's awesome. And there's a weird story that came out about Michael Jordan saying that he was anti-trans was absolute horse crap. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of bullshit that's out there these days. And there's a lot of lying and misinformation on purpose to mislead people. Michael Jordan is not anti-trans. That was something that was absolutely made up in like a month ago. So yeah, we got to be really careful about what we're reading and listening to, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. There really is. Blackhawk saying Pink Floyd was the first famous person I understood had a drug problem. Pink Floyd? Pink Floyd? Who are you talking about? Pink Floyd. That's a band. You're talking about Bob Geldof sitting in the chair saying, I have become comfortably numb. Hello. Is there anybody in there? Are you talking about Eric Floyd? Who are you talking about? Walter Floyd? Walter Floyd? Are you talking about Walter? No, it's not Walter Floyd. There's Walter Davis. There's Eric Floyd. I'm not getting Pink Floyd. Who's Pink Floyd? It's Pink Floyd. Blackhawks saying basketball wise, it's Odom and Rodman. Basketball, the first famous person you understood had a drug problem. Basketball wise is Odom and Rodman. Well, the stuff with Odom's sad. The stuff with Dennis is weird. Dennis is an alcoholic. Dennis has had his ups and downs with being sober and not being sober. And I don't know if he's sober right now. In some ways, I don't care. I just want Dennis to be happy and be okay. He seems like his life's under control, which is good. I do really care a lot about Dennis Rodman. And I know that he's had his own journey in his own life with his sobriety. But, he seems like he's in a good place. I do follow him on social media, and he does seem like he's in a good place right now. I don't know. People are going to have problems. It was interesting. I didn't bring this up. There was one game that Vince called with Alvin and Matt, not the last one or the one before, where they alluded to Keon Clark. They didn't even say his name, but I knew exactly what they were talking about. They're talking about that one teammate that did certain things, and they were totally talking about Keon, but they did not mention his name because they didn't want to put him on blast. But there was a moment. Do you guys remember that moment on the broadcast where they were talking about a former teammate that they played with? And they didn't exactly elaborate what he was doing, but we found out later that he was drinking like a fifth of vodka every single game for the Raptors. There's not a single game that Keon Clark was not drunk that he played in. And if you go back and watch clips of him playing with Vince and Alvin at that time, you'll see him swaying and staggering around. In fact, you'll see him stand at the free throw line like he has to lean on the guy next to him because he's going to fall over. And if you look at Keon's eyes, they were completely glazed over and a bloodshot, like he was drunk every single time he played. You can see it. Now, look at how he played, too. He was crazy. Like, he could get blocks, and he dunked the ball, and he was an effective player even though he was drunk. It was kind of weird, man. But he was totally drunk, and you can tell by the way he walked. He couldn't walk in a straight line. He was swaying around, and he was so skinny. Yeah, it's weird. I wish I knew what Keon Clark could have been without drinking like that. Of course, when I was a younger man and I played a lot of basketball in my teens and my early 20s, I played drunk a lot of basketball drunk. I used to go to parties where there'd be a basketball court at the party, and we'd have a keg next to the court, and we'd drink while we were playing. And, you get shit-faced and played basketball for like 3 hours at a party. You're all sweaty and drunk. I know how that feels. But that was Keon Clark's reality every single night he suited up for the Raptors. And that was interesting. They did allude to him, but they wouldn't name him outright. And I know that's who y'all were talking about, Alvin and Vince, that day. When you brought up a teammate, you did want to say who it was. It was Keon Clark. I know it was. I know it was. Mike's saying Whitney and Bobby were mine, I think. Whitney and Bobby. That was the first time you knew about drugs. Reminder of season contract prorated to the minimum and number of days left in the season. There you go for Orlando Robinson, who's going to be coming off the two-way. That's quite the elevation, 10-day to two-way to regular contract. Boom goes the dynamite. Oh, Rob. There you go. You must be doing something right for going from 10-day to two-way to a regular contract. Now we'll see the rest of the addition this year. Who knows? Maybe he gets re-up next in the summer and he gets fit in there somehow with a little piece of some part of the cap. Because I can see that happening for Orlando. We'll have to see, especially if they like him, they feel like he's progressing and he's fitting in with the culture. If he's cheap and we just want more center depth, I say bring back Orlando next year. I really do. If he's going to fit under everything. That's right. Blackhawk said, I heard the rumors for WMB, but didn't believe it until Whitney's struggles were showing. Yeah, that's something totally different, man. Yeah, I don't want to go in too much on Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown right now. Yeah, but that's my prerogative. All right, there you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Give Lex a dunk. Give Lex a dunk for that one. Let's see. Stargate saying Tarpley had a rebounding prowess close to Dennis Rodman, but the alcohol and drugs really messed him up. Yeah, he was a better scorer too. Like seriously, he was a good rebounder and a good scorer. He was like a 20 and 10 guy. He was a really good power forward. Really, really good power and a true all-star, a real true all-star. So we're saying Whitney Houston and her daughter. So tragic. Yeah. Yeah, man, y'all bumming me out. Come on now. Stargate saying I have been to Wellington, North Carolina. My brother-in-law is from 45 minutes away from there in East Arcadia. That's where Michael's got his clinic. And Randolph saying, Lex or freaks, any deadlines for the Raptors to fill PJ's spot? No, they don't have to fill it. That's the crazy thing. Teams can just kind of hang around and not do anything with them, but they're going to do it today. That's what Blake's signaling right here. Jared Rhoden's going to step into one of those spots, it sounds like, and we'll have to see what the second spot ends up being. It's going to be developing news today coming through. Who knows? Maybe Eugene's going to get called up. I could speculate that right now because Eugene didn't play yesterday in the 905 game. He may be in Orlando already and ready to suit up to help the Raptors because we're missing some guys. Grady goes out. Oshai goes out. AJ Lawson goes to Orlando. Grady goes out. Eugene Omeroy goes to Orlando. Something like that. I could see that happening right there. Yeah, I could see that happening. Mike's saying the minimum for third or fourth year players fits the space for a backup center and have the new draft pick guys under the first apron. There you go. I like this. Mike is always on top of it. He's letting me know right there. Bob G, The Wall, freaked me out. Yeah, that's a crazy movie. And that movie is very apropos. The fascism in that movie is very apropos to the bullshit that's going on with MAGA. Seriously. Y'all can watch Pink Floyd, The Wall, and understand what totalitarianism kind of looks like and how you're supposed to conform and just be like everybody else wants to be. That's what they want. They want you to think like them and be like them and only be like that's it. There's no alternatives. There's no freedom. And that's what The Wall is about. That's what it's about. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave those kids alone. Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. All in all, is just another brick in the wall. Yeah, you don't want to be just a brick in the wall of Orange Man's wall that he wants to build with Mexico, or hopefully, I wish he would just build a wall with us at this point. Can we get that, Donald? Why don't you just build a wall with us, please? We'd love it. Thank you. Just build a wall with us, please. We'd like that at this point. Wilmington and NC, that's right. Trevor's saying, we talked so much about Breaking Bad. I went back and visited the series. There you go. Yeah, Adriana started out. She's watching it. We watched Tuco. We watched the Tuco stuff on Sunday. Yeah, Tuco was crazy, man. And man, I forgot some of the stuff that, like, I forgot how much chemistry really was the weapon that Heisenberg, aka Walter White, uses on that show. Like when he throws that piece of glass thing in Tuco's headquarters and blows up that whole top floor, I was like, holy shit, this dude's for real. And the way that Tuco kind of like respects Walter White on the down low is kind of funny in the whole thing because it's like he shouldn't respect him because he easily kill him easily. but he's a little scared of him to a degree in that part. Yeah. And then, of course, what happens to Tuco with Hank, and they see it. It's a really crazy show. It's a really crazy show. So fun to watch it. Yeah, the freaky kids were unsettling. The freaky kids. What are you talking about? The freaky kids. Oh, on the wall. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of deep shit in that. You know, another important Pink Floyd album that people should listen to right now is Animals. Animals is an album that came out in 1975 by Pink Floyd, and in some ways it was the precursor to The Wall. And the songs, pigs, dogs, sheep, those are all applicable to what's going on right now with our politicians in the United States. It says, uh, you have to be trusted by the people you lie to, because when they turn their backs on you, you get a chance to put the knife in. Listen to that shit, and it'll go over sheep, which is like the people just following blindly, dogs, who are the people who want war and want fucking misery and power. Yeah, that album's very deep. Animals, check it out today. Pink Floyd, Animals. Listen to the lyrics. Another song that hit really hard that I listened to this weekend was Head Like a Hole by 9 Inch Nails. Listen to that song and the lyric that says, God, money, I'll do anything for you. God, money, just tell me what you want me to. And that is Elon Musk right there. The only God he has is money. He doesn't have any right or wrong in that. And you listen to those lyrics, and then you say, no, you can't take that away from me. And you say, head like a hole, I'd rather die than give you control. And listen to that song. And seriously, Trent Reznor is singing something very serious about this world right now, and the way capitalism got out of control with greed, and the money of God is running people into the ground in misery and suffering because of very sick, evil people at the top. And that's just the damn truth right there. Yeah, The Wall, the kids with the paper mache mask. We don't need no education. All right, on that note, 2 hours. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and join the Raptor Freak channel. Yeah, entertainment. You're getting a lot here. Politics, fun, Pink Floyd covers, and all kinds of debunking RJ Barrett, stupid ass trade rumors, and just general Raptors information. I love you guys. Let's go, Raptors. Always stand up for the underdog. Always stand up for the people that need you to stand up and protect for them. And don't be a bully. Don't be a selfish motherfucker that's only trying to make as much money as possible at the detriment of the rest of the world. Fuck you fucks that are like that. We need to stand together and be together and fight for everybody. And that will make the world a better place. But right now, evil is taking over, and we need to fucking stand up against it in the right ways, and because we know that's what's right. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow reacting to the second game against Orlando. Hopefully a sweep. Let's go, baby. Let's beat the Magic.